5.
A footprint left at each that makes it not connected. I don't know. You know what I mean? What do you think? And let us know. Maybe we'll do a premiere with this one too and just kick it off some good conversation. But let your thoughts riot in the comments below. Let us know what you think. Let me know if I am just way off course here, and help straighten us out.
Yeah.
Yes. Bow, 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 bow.
Did you really end that with bow, 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 bow?
Yeah. You got to end it with a bang. What do you mean? Welcome, welcome, everybody. Right? Where's my tape? I should have had my eyebrows taped for the live stream and then went live. That would have been hilarious. Hold on, let me hold on, let me copy. All right. Hello, hello, everybody. As you're all heading over. Bushy Eyebrows 2.0. All right, so let me figure out how I can pull this document up, because I am on a Mac. Let me see. Can I share this? I don't see why I shouldn't be able to. Or actually, can I open it with... Safari. No, it's not letting me. Okay, let me just hold on. I'll take a screenshot real quick and then I'll be able to open it that way. Give me 1 second, you guys. Sorry. I probably should have tested this beforehand.
What are you trying to do?
Just pull up the document. All right. Okay. There we go. Are you coming over here?
Yep.
All right. So I don't know about you guys, but like, this is too much of a coincidence for me. I know we've talked about this before, but when I went actually looking at the details of the crimes, I was blown away every single time I found a new correlating detail, with first the date And the time blew me away. It knocked me on my butt. I was like, oh my gosh. So 3 a.m. on the dot. Normally for serial ender cooldown time, it's like roughly around the same time. Like a real common one is 12 months, and they'll go 12 months and then find another victim, and it'll be somewhat around the same time. This is like identical, you know. It's literally between 14 months on one, 15 months on the other. And if I had to guess, just if going down that rabbit hole that these are connected, I think Sandra Ladd was number one. And the reason why I think she's number one, like I was saying on the video, is that one, she's an elderly woman, which is very, very common for a number one, for them to be an older person, like a mom or a grandma, some kind of connection to them. And the way that she was ended was all stabbing wounds. So direct stabs to her torso, you guys. And by the way, I probably should have included this in there, but I didn't realize how relevant it was at the time. But all three of these were all torso-based stabbings, nothing else, all of them. Which, don't get me wrong, that's like an obvious place to stab, but that's just another thing on top of it. You know what I mean? It's not like they went for a throat. It's not like they went for a back. Like, these were all face-to-face, torso-based stab wounds, stab and cutting. So Sandra's the only one where it was like a direct stab wound. The rest of them are like stab and, you know, large rips. Yeah, like we've talked about this before, but
like slash.
Yeah,
Like
so
a slash.
so Kaylee, this is graphic, so trigger warning, you guys. But Kaylee's liver was literally like
Cut in
apart.
half.
Yeah,
Cut
in half. Like it was like the knife was sunk and then pulled out sideways. You know what I mean? And that's super graphic. I'm sorry, but there's no other way to explain it. You know?
Yeah. I think Ethan, I think there was throat. Yes. J Ray, I believe so. And thank you, J Ray. Hey, everybody. American Princess, Amanda, J Ray, Cynthia.
Yes, welcome everybody.
Gotti. Ian.
So Ethan's always stood out to me, though, too, because I think most of you know, but the True Crime Design audio, right? The one that's 50 feet away from the house, I believe it's real. I 100% believe that audio is real, just based on the background information, the fact that news immediately went out there and tried to prove that it wasn't real, made me question it right away. So I started digging into it, and I totally think that's real. So if that's real, right, the important part in that is when Ethan says Z, right? And one, that gives a couple things. One, can we confirm that he called Xana Z? And I think that's a really, 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 really important part, because that's not her name, obviously. So if we can confirm through somebody locally or somebody that knew them that he called her Z, I feel like that could add to the validity of that audio, right? Because it's such an uncommon representation of her name or what he called her. And two, if he was yelling Z, they weren't in the same room together. You wouldn't, if you're sitting next to somebody, you wouldn't yell their name unless you were asleep, is the only thing that I could think of.
So when we're done talking about this, I want to bring something to your attention that I now have a new theory. I think I actually know how it happened with Ethan and Xana now.
Okay.
Like, I'm pretty solid on what I think now.
Okay.
And I have to show you what I found.
Okay.
But,
yeah.
oh, hey, Who said hey?
Miss a
Anne.
girl.
I mean, all of you said hi, but Anne, Michigan girl, I'm assuming. Hope you guys are doing well tonight.
But
so what's that mean, that it was leaked by the fuzz?
what?
What was leaked?
The audio.
Oh, you read that Z was her nickname? See, that's what he was. Where did you see that? Because he wants to find proof that that was a nickname.
Yeah.
And we haven't been able to really find anything on that.
Yes. I think I've asked a couple times because I just want verification. I feel like that would help me know. That would help us understand if it was legitimate or not in that situation. So, yeah, I appreciate it. To be honest, I haven't dug really hard just because we've been up to our necks in cases and other details, but I'll try and dig into that too. I will absolutely try and dig into that too. When I was searching for these stories, I also started looking into statistics, right? Statistically, how many crimes are done by a knife? And it was pretty high. I think it was like 40% of violent crimes that used a weapon were done by a knife. I need to re-verify those though. But when you look for a serial ender, it's much lower.
With a knife?
With a knife, yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's much lower. And a lot of serial enders tend to do things more up in your face. I mean, you have some weird one-off situations like Son of Sam with a gun. That's really uncommon.
You mean
then,
like with bare hands?
Yep.
Okay.
Strangulation, covering their head with plastic, restricting airway. It's a power component, right? And maybe a knife doesn't give somebody the same kind of power feeling that it does when you're doing
your hands.
Yep. I was trying to describe it without getting like too in the head of the serial ender, and you know what I mean?
Well, you mean just being too graphic to where it's like bothering people? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, blunt force trauma is another. Actually, I don't know if that was on the list. I think they listed 5. I wish I would have took those down. Yeah, you gotta flip that on.
It takes a minute to turn on though. Thank you, Michigan girl, for trying to look that up for us.
Yeah, I appreciate
that. I haven't been able to find it. I've looked a few times and I couldn't find much at all.
You have?
I couldn't find much.
So, and just to go into a little bit deeper, you guys. So Julie Ray on the left-hand side, the only reason I included that is because when we originally started talking about this case on a live stream and we made the decision to pull all the details for all 3 of these cases, somebody suggested to us that we look into Julie Ray, and Julie Ray is 100% not attached to it. Basically what happened, just to go into it a little bit deeper than we did on the video, where we try and just scratch the surface, is somebody broke in and started attacking her child, her 13-year-old boy. She was awake and started fighting off the assailant, and she did successfully as he was running away. Well, not successfully. She still lost her kid. But as he was running away, he dropped the knife. She had defensive wounds. The police immediately thought it was her, and charged her within the first month, and she ended up getting convicted of that. Now, she started using a defense attorney to fight those charges, and at the same time, that attorney reached out to Tommy Sells, where they were able to confirm that Tommy Sells was in that area at that time. Tommy Sells ended up admitting to that, since he was already on, I don't know if he was on death row or if he was already in for life. I forget exactly the background on Tommy Sells, but he comes out with an admission and writes a detailed account that matches the story of the mothers. So the mother ends up getting released. She takes all that information back to court and they end up letting her out. So that, I believe that case is not tied to it, even with, you know, some other popular names for the Idaho 4 case, like Kopaka. I just don't think that has any relevance to it. I think if this is connected, more than likely Sandra Ladd is going to be number 1. Travis and Jamie Lynn Juten number 2, and the Idaho 4 number 3. And I keep going back to how could this work, right? Because Sandra Ladd and Jamie Lynn and Travis Juten lived only an hour from each other, like really close, and it would be really easy to stalk someone like that. They were nearby. It wouldn't take much effort. But if you lived in that area, in that general area, and you wanted to stalk the Idaho 4 1122, it wouldn't be so easy. So then I keep going back to, okay, well, why would this move to out there? For one, could it have been a student? The person who did Sandra Ladd and Jamie Lynn Juten was under 18. They ended up graduating, going to college, and then this is the outcome.
See, that's what I want to start looking into as soon as I heard about this, that I wanted to look at if she had any grandkids, like, or kids or anybody in her life that was like a younger man that was troubled.
I agree.
That was my first thought.
Yeah, I think that anytime you have a serial ender, if we're looking at the potential of this being a serial ender, yeah, I think it's very, very likely that it was someone close. And what's interesting is Sandra Ladd has a bunch of grandchildren. I look it up real quick. I think it's 12. I'm pretty sure it's 12.
So, Cynthia, oh, here, did you comment on this one?
Oh, sorry.
It's Joey. Do we know what Ethan's last phone usage was?
I love that one thought riot I had over the weekend. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I know of. No, I don't think we do know that information. It wasn't in any
that I've heard.
No, I haven't seen it in any documentation or anything like that. And yes, Anne, that is correct. Xana was on the floor and Ethan was on the bed. And now I know that for a fact because of What's the Obsession. I watched her recent live stream and she read back over the PCA and pull up the video I just sent you. She played this video on her live stream.
Okay.
And it's proof.
Okay. I'm not opposed to it, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I just think with the little evidence that we have.
So here, share this tab. This is Mysteries and Recipes. Shout out to them and to What's the Obsession for bringing this to my attention. Kelly is amazing over there. I feel like she does a super good job respecting the victims and questioning things, and I just really like her. But I don't always agree with her. But this is really interesting.
What,
that one.
Okay.
Bloodstained mattresses. Now, trigger warning, there is going to be, I already said the word too many times, but BLLLOOD. Oh my gosh, I almost misspelled it.
Yeah.
But we're going to see not it full on, but it kind of. So put it in theater mode so it's bigger. All right. This is when they were pulling.
Hello everyone, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for all the newest updates on this case. New investigative details released. Investigators from the Idaho State Police have begun removing furniture from the Moscow rental home where 4 University of Idaho students were stabbed to death. Dark blood-like stains and blotches can be seen through the...
What part were you disagreeing with, J. Ray? Sorry, I was on a mega rant, so I wasn't paying attention to while I was talking.
Cover at the top of one of the mattresses. 5 cardboard boxes believed to
That
contain
would be
possessions
insane,
that
J-Ray.
belonged to the victims and their 2 surviving
knows a girl
roommates,
with the
and 2 white
Alaskan
trash
lab.
bags were also loaded onto the trucks. One of the bags contained clothes rack. The removals come a week after a planned house clearance was halted just as it began after alleged killer Bryan Kohberger's defense team were granted an order that preserves the scene. Kohberger's lawyers applied for the order on December the 30th, the day he was arrested at his parents' home in Pennsylvania's Poconos Mountains. On Tuesday morning, defense investigators were seen combing through the crime scene. The order preserving the site had been due to stay in place until February the 1st, or until a date ordered by the court.
Can you here pause?
Crime scene.
Okay.
So when it's turned up right there.
Investigators were seen combing through
Was
the
she
crime
going closer?
scene. The order preserving
maybe
the
when
site
they...
had been due to stay in place until February the 1st, or until a date ordered by the court.
We can't zoom in super
Court
well.
staff told that the preservation order has not been lifted.
What?
Although the terms of the order do not prohibit investigators from removing items.
You can see it right there in that corner.
Yeah, I feel like I could see it.
Can't.
I felt like I could see it better in her live stream. I think because she was zoomed in.
I mean, that zooming in isn't going to change the color.
But you can kind of see the outline of it right there. I don't know why. I feel like I can't see it as good right here. Oh, there. That's way better. I'm glad they put that picture up. But yep. That is a full-size mattress. And from what we know, Xana's bedroom is the bedroom that had the full-size mattress.
I mean, aren't those mattresses identical that are in both trucks? So that doesn't make much sense.
Are they identical? This one's a twin. They
look pretty dang close to me. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. They do.
Yep.
Huh.
We'll put it back. Yeah. I want to look at put it back to that one spot.
Okay, well.
Because I need to look at stuff and think for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead. Anyway,
how could that have happened? What are those 2 spots off the side? Was it the person standing on the bed above them? Was that... It doesn't make sense for it to be hands. So what is that? I mean, the one on the left just looks like a small smidge, but...
Did we see anything on this one at all? The one to the right?
Over here, though, I want to...
Because we know that Kaylee and Maddie were on the bed. So we know that one would have stains. And from what Kelly was saying, the other one was a twin size, and this one that we're looking at right now was a full size. So that's how she knew it was Xana and Ethan's, Xana's room. But now that we're looking at it, I can't tell that one over there is a twin.
No.
So now I'm confused.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm confused what could cause that splatter.
Have you guys seen this before? These pictures? Because this was my first time seeing it. And from the PCA, it says that Xana was found on the floor. So this is my theory, is that Xana got her DoorDash order, okay? And where's that DoorDash Xana picture? Can you pull that up?
Yeah. Guys, what do you think those marks could be? Because I don't see any line connecting them, okay? So like that can't just happen from a body laying there. That can only happen from somebody transferring it there.
What are you?
this and this. There's no connection. So it's not like it was dripping out. So what is that mark?
I mean,
and what is this mark?
this was a violent attack.
Dude, that doesn't matter. It's not like you would have a baseball size blood splatter go flying over here. That's contact. Somebody has contact right there. At first I thought it was hands, but that doesn't make sense either.
Head, maybe? Like this is where the main part of the body was. Head is up where not where the smaller stain is, where the like medium-ish one is.
Yeah.
And then the smaller one is down by the bottom where maybe it would have dripped or collected or pooled somewhere.
So it might actually be horizontal. That's a good possibility. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super interesting though. Wow.
Okay, yeah, it is. And this was my very first time seeing it. So, Gati, yes, I do feel like a lot of things relating to Ethan have been ignored for some reason, and the girls have been focused on. So, Jamie Lynn Juten did survive the attack. It was only Travis that died in that attack. And
she doesn't remember nothing.
She doesn't remember. She has documented her recovery on TikTok. I found tons of Reddit posts, even Reddit forums or subreddits or whatever, where she was commenting and people were pointing out how horrible that Travis's mother and family have been to her. And Travis's half brother was commenting and he felt like he had been supportive of her, but the mother literally like okay, so they wrote two different obituaries. His mother wrote one and Jamie Lynn wrote one. The one that his mother wrote was like all pretty much about how well off the family was. It was just
strange.
It was strange. And then the one Jamie Lynn wrote was more about Travis.
Yeah.
And there's just been a lot of hostility between them. And I think it could be like because she survived and the mother's grieving and doesn't know who it is, and Jamie Lynn can't remember anything, so she can't get justice for her son, and she survived, not her son, and he fought off the attacker.
Yeah.
So he literally died protecting her.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's grief. I can't judge Travis's mom too hard, but like I said, Jamie Lynn can't remember anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with you, SB. I do think if they're moving, yes, I understand how it could pool and drip and how that works. But with that being a mattress and being so porous, to me, that spot that's on the right hand looks like a pretty significant amount, meaning, you know, some of that was absorbed. And it just looks like there's motion. So if you look at this right here, that looks like some kind of like motion, like something rubbed against it there with that weird.
He may not have been dead right away.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just trying to
fight.
understand how it could happen.
I think there most likely was a fight. I think for sure. I think there was a fight, and I don't know that they were, you know, passed away before the attacker actually left, or, you know.
Yeah,
so
it would have been very, 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 very fast though. Like,
yeah, it would have been.
You know, without getting too graphic, just think about what we were talking about earlier with, you know, the in half liver. Like the amount of blood that would come out would immediately make you pass out. Less than 30 seconds, guaranteed. It would be very quicker than you think. Like, I know that there's been some statements about Kaylee, like, you know, she was trapped. Like, it made it, that comment just, it drives me a little bit crazy because they talk about how bad her injuries were, but then they made it sound like, you know, she couldn't get out because someone was blocking her. But honestly, those injuries were so bad. Like, they're talking about less than 60 seconds worth of time because nobody could live longer than that. It is impossible. It's not like she was laying there for 10 minutes, like hoping someone would come to help her. they were gone very fast, like very, very, very fast, unfortunately, you know. And it sucks that we even have to talk about it.
It does.
But I think it's important when we're looking at any case and trying to understand the break, how it went down, detail by detail, play by play, second by second. Excuse me. These things got to be talked about. There's no way to not talk about them, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's interesting. But
yeah, so here's my theory is Xana got the DoorDash thing, okay, at 4 a.m. She got the delivery. What if she wasn't in the room and Ethan got attacked first? And then she came running. Okay, and I don't know. The audio throws me off a little bit because I think it's real too.
Yeah.
But Xana runs in there and gets ended right there on the floor. Because why is she on the floor and he's in the bed? In the PCA,
here's my only concern with that.
Or they were both on the floor, you guys. The PCA doesn't say he's on the bed.
So you think that, so you're suggesting that they went first. They were targeted first.
I don't think
the audio is flipped. The audio is they were second. What I think happened was that and I don't think that food is that important, and the reason being is because what killer would go moving around when you hear like knocking or a DoorDash there or whatever, whether that person was already in the house listening, right? Or they were outside waiting to enter. Either way, you would think that they would know there was food on the way, food coming, whatever, right? But what I think happened is that the ender went upstairs first and attacked the two girls, and they heard, that's where you hear on the audio, somebody's here, right? And Ethan gets up to go look what the noise was, go inspect what the noise was, realizes, oh shoot, someone's in here, and he might have already been getting attacked at that point. There's no way to know. The person was in all black, so if you had lights on in the room and you walk out into a black house, your eyes wouldn't be able to adjust very quick, and you wouldn't see someone approaching you right away. Your eyes would not be adjusted for that. And the attack could have already started, and he starts backing up or whatever, you know, however it went, whether he turns and runs to the room, starts backing up, yells for Z, however it went down. But I believe that audio's real. So
I think it's real too. I'm just thinking that Xana wasn't in the room. But the PCA does not say Ethan was in the bed. It says that he was also found in the room. It says Xana was found on the floor and that he was found in the room. Then on the 3D walkthrough of the house, it was showing Ethan was found in the bed. And this rumor started going around saying that he was found on the floor, possibly even in the hallway, and that there was some issue getting a door open.
Yes.
But that's not confirmed. So, you know, Banfield started saying that, which I saw this on Kelly's live stream. She played a clip from Banfield saying that Hunter walked in and took Ethan's pulse. But Kelly was saying there's no way, or else he would have had, there would have been bloody footprints. Like there's so much blood that it was literally seeping out.
Like a footprint in front of a door that ended up getting wiped up.
Yeah, but we don't know for sure that was even blood.
Yeah, we don't. But I mean, what else would it be? Did they
recently
mop their floor?
Why wouldn't there be footprints leading all the way out?
Look, I hear you. I get it. I get it. Could it have been? I'm just thinking of other theories here that make sense, right? Because we look at this a couple different ways. We've looked at this from the Dr. Moore case, that the police just didn't know what they were doing. So how much of the PCA ends up being true? How much of it isn't? There's no way to know in that. But I also think it's important to look at it from the aspect that they have all of it together. I don't personally feel like they got it all together based on the evidence that we're seeing and what I know. And we're coming out with a new video around cell phone tower and my expertise into cell phone towers and how they work, how successful they are, the reliability percentages and all that. And just based on my expertise alone into the cell phone information makes me doubt other things that the police have done, just because I know that they don't have anything with cell phones, literally nothing. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
So if I doubt one thing, how does it not make sense to question other things?
And by the way, we're coming out with a video very soon about his research. He breaks it down really well about the cell phone towers and how it's absolutely not possible at all that they could precisely triangulate his BK's movements.
Yeah. Yeah. Which again, we said it in the video that we premiered. Look, I hope Kohberger's the guy, you guys. I want him to be the guy. Because the only other option is if he's not the guy or part of a group, then the real person is out there. And that's terrifying. Yeah. That is so scary. So I hope he's the guy. And I'm willing to look at any logical theory, right? And I think it's important that we look at all the theories of him being the guy. I think it's important that we look at all of the theories where he's not the guy and then question why, who, where, how, and all of them, you know? But one thing I do know, and I was in wireless for over a decade, dealing directly with towers, and I have a special login that shows me literally every tower in the US, and I think I can check in the world, but it's just no way. It's impossible. It is impossible because they don't have what they need to be able to triangulate somebody. And yes, they do have 2 towers, but one tower covers about 30% of the area. The other tower covers about 40% of the area, leaving huge, massive gaps in cell phone coverage everywhere in Moscow, or Moscow, sorry. So if I question one thing, my logical reasoning is, what else is there to question, you know?
There's no way Enan Harsh walked up in that house and killed all those people by himself. He is a wimp. Just saying. But I do think he wants attention.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, his spiritual rants, guys, are absolutely bonkers. I saw you guys talking about it in the comments. He is insane. So what was your theory, J Ray? I'm trying to catch up a little bit on comments. The ladder, come on, how can you not see someone? Is that after sitting 8 hours, no pulse checking at all? Yeah, there's no way. I don't believe Ashley Banfield about taking a pulse.
This?
Like, I don't believe that even for a second. Gati, I don't.
I don't know where that comment
Which
is.
comment?
With the one you just read. I was just going to
about
highlight
J Ray's
it.
theory?
No. You said Gaz comment.
Okay. I mean,
I was just trying to find it so that everyone can know what you're talking about.
This isn't working.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, it just started working then.
You just have to click it. But
I was gonna try to answer some comments, but
so I wonder why that other mattress is covered then. Is there blood splatter on the bottom?
I'm assuming there's blood splatter on both of them. What I'm assuming.
Here, let me use this real quick.
Okay.
Does that look a little bit like an outline?
Yeah.
Right there?
Yes, it does. It does to me.
Huh. I need to save this so that we can highlight it and try and pull out the color differences. I bet we could do that in the editing software.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
And it would probably be really precise because there's a definite color difference there.
Yeah, so
pull out the dark.
The ladder, I think it is pretty ridiculous that it wasn't processed.
The ladder theory?
The ladder theory, I mean, is possible.
Yeah.
I think it's possible, but I just don't know why they wouldn't, like, in something like this, better safer than sorry. Okay. You
Yeah.
take everything. You take everything and process it as evidence. If you even think for a second that it could have evidence on it or anything, like
we talked about the 113 pieces, you guys. So they only gathered 113 pieces of evidence. That is nothing. That is absolutely
they haven't seen that yet.
Nothing. No, we have a video coming out, but it's from Ian's information where they talk about the details of the investigation, and they say in there that they gathered 113 pieces. That is nothing. That is literally nothing. Think of every single piece of evidence there is. It's not like they group evidence together, right? They would have taken out boards on the floor. How many hair ties are in a room that could have had blood on it? You need to take every single piece of anything that has blood on it. And the reason being is because that's a knife crime. So the knife crime, you would have been able to tell what order the crime was committed in based on the blood mixing. And there was somebody, if you left this comment, I appreciate it. Somebody left a comment within the last 12 hours talking about how there would be blood transfer in this crime. If you did the right kind of investigative work, you would be able to tell who was the first victim. And then that first victim should have DNA on the second victim. That second victim would have it on the third on the fourth, and so on like that. But was enough evidence taken? Did they take every single thing that was covered by blood? Was it actually tested thoroughly? With how much blood was in this, I imagine that was a super tedious job, taking weeks and weeks and weeks. So was that done? I'm doubtful.
Me too.
I'm doubtful. Not because I'm saying necessarily the police are bad people, but they don't have any experience with a crime like this. None. Zero. And I'm curious why they didn't let the FBI do the case, the investigative work, gathering the evidence. Why?
I mean, I think there has to be specific like qualifications for the FBI to take over.
No, that's not true. So if you're in range and everything is working properly on your phone, it will automatically connect to a tower, but it can only prioritize data going through one tower. That doesn't mean that you're not connected to other towers, because it's giving off a signal, and that signal will transfer the information and data to both towers. And what's interesting is every cell phone tower is connected to the next tower too. So while your cell phone's simultaneously communicating with the tower, those two towers are communicating together at the same time. Yeah, so if you're in a location with a lot of towers, you guys, like if you're in Chicago, or if you're in New York or any metro area, any even tiny metro area, police will absolutely be able to know where you are down to the single foot, 12 inches. They could see you walking around a car, like J. Ray had pointed out with the YNW Melly case. 100% real and possible. Absolutely. Your phone would be tied to every tower that's nearby.
And welcome to everybody who's joined recently since we got started. Let's see.
Yes, welcome everybody.
Yeah, J. Ray, about the ladder, I'm maybe there wasn't blood on it. I'm not convinced that what was on the roof is blood, but I think that it would be interesting, if they tested it and found maybe shoe prints the way they found in front of Dylan's door, or you know what I mean? Like there could be other things. Yeah,
and I think what Drip Drop was trying to say in that video here, let me pull up his content, just because we're talking about that video, and I never want.
Kelly pulled up that video in her recent live stream too on What's the Obsession and was talking about the ladder. And she said she saw people talking about it before, but it didn't really strike her until Crime Circus talked about it. And then she was like, well, that is interesting. Why didn't they just at least process it? And that was my thought from the beginning.
Yeah. And this is just who we learned it from. So there might be other people out there that clocked it first. But this is just who we learned it from. So I just want to give credit wherever we got it from, you know? But I think the ladder is super interesting, but I think that there are other possibilities as well within that ladder theory. Do we know for sure that that ladder wasn't placed there by police? I think we saw a picture of that ladder not being there a week prior, and then all of a sudden we see it there. Was it placed there by police trying to gather evidence? Was it, you know what I mean? Like, are we sure that police didn't put it there? Because if they put it there with the intention of tying the tape to it, then that kind of throws it out, maybe. One thing I did want to point out, though, is I don't think the ladder has anything to do with them getting up and in or getting off the roof, because that gap is so big. And I don't know if you guys have ever tried to get on a roof, but if you're pulling your body weight up, like if you're standing on top of the ladder and the roof is only at your waist, there is no way to pull your body up. Like, it is very hard unless you're a rock crawler or have like insane upper body strength and hand strength. They would be very hard, very hard. Yeah, but both would know you're there, J Ray. So, both would know you're in that area, but your data itself, like let's say you're on a call, right? That call is going to go to one main tower, but technically both towers will be connected to you because both of those towers are also communicating with each other. And it has, we're talking milliseconds. This is going on so fast when it comes to the cell phone data. But if all of a sudden 100 people come in the zone where you're connected to, and they aren't close enough to another tower, your tower will prioritize them and transfer you over to a different tower because that original tower is too full and those other people don't have any other option but to use that tower. So at all times, your phone is communicating with all of them. And there's a lot of people don't understand that technology too, where they think that it's almost like a string. Like, imagine a string being connected to the cell phone tower to your phone, and that's not how it works. Like, it's one data line connected to multiple phones around you. So you're getting one stream of data going to the tower, and the best way, gosh, what's a good way to imagine it? So let me see. So imagine this being like the data stream going to the tower, right? Each of these is a different phone. Each of these is a different person. So there will be multiple slots going to the tower. So like this, if I'm on my phone, we're all in the same area. This would be my phone. This would be your phone, J Ray, and this would be Ian's phone. And we're all on the same single data line going to the tower and going through whatever that tower is connected, whether it's connected through ground wires or it's connected through satellite. But it translates that once it gets to essentially the computer portion of it, it will then split that up, those three up, and send it to the right area. Strange, right? I forget what it's called. I think it's called multi-wave something frequency. Multi-wave something frequency. So
SB said the police put the ladder there. J-Ray, I think you were talking about the ladder, saying that it was there. It was just laying on its side before the crime. Let me know if I got that right. How do we know that? Joey said when they're emptying cans, you can see it in the body cam. Are you talking about the ladder?
Am I talking about the ladder?
No, I was asking Joey if
Harsh is a really great channel. We like Harsh, and anytime we talk about his stuff too, we love giving him credit. I really like Harsh Reality. Honestly, we'll talk about anybody. I feel like we are like the most laid back with any content. I don't think we'll ever get to a point where I'm going to be like, this is my territory. How dare you be a new content creator in true crime? You know, I feel like some content creators are totally like that out there.
They are totally like that. J Ray, that's what I said. We in the video, which you guys are going to see soon, where he breaks it down. I thought it was incredible, like phenomenal. But it really interesting information and knowing how all of this works. But I asked the same question. Why is it relevant? Because there's no way that they could put him at the crime scene because his phone was off. It wasn't connected to any tower, but it is relevant in determining if he was stalking the victims beforehand, like police claim he was. They claimed he was driving by the house 12 times before the murders, and then a 13th time the next morning.
Yeah, and you want to know something scary, J Ray? Is
they can't know that.
Is if your phone's on airplane mode, they absolutely know where you're at. If you have enough coverage in the area, not in Moscow. In Moscow, they wouldn't know where you are at all. Not at all. Their towers are awful, absolutely horrible. But if your phone's in airplane mode, they absolutely know where you're at. Now, if your phone's off, it's a good possibility they still know where you're at, because most phones now have remote control, right? Where you can log into Find My iPhone if you're an iPhone user, and you can turn that bad boy on and you can turn it off. The only way to send that command to your phone is for there to be a connection there. And even so, you guys, I should probably save some of these stats for the video, but it's interesting. It's interesting. I'm shocked I didn't look into the cell phone coverage sooner, but Moscow's cell phone coverage is
trash.
Awful, literally horrible.
Truth and Transparency just recently interviewed Vargas, which was interesting, but they didn't touch on anything, literally anything Moscow or Kohberger related, which she can't. She's under a gag order.
Yeah.
But she did Lana did ask, you know, how was your cell phone coverage while you were in Moscow? She said, well,
she did?
I drove from Spokane to Moscow from the airport. And she said, I literally didn't have service at all until I got in Moscow.
Yeah.
So, or Moscow.
Yep. And you know what's interesting too? So the biggest gap in coverage in Moscow is the college, you guys. So the college has the biggest gap in service on the two towers that should be covering it. And what's interesting is the two towers by the college are so close to it that you would think that it would have good coverage. They don't. They don't have any connection there. And I think because they don't have any real towers in Moscow, they used a water tower for one of the towers, and it's considered like a mini cell tower, where the tower, I don't believe it's on top based on the coverage. What I think is that the data bars are on the side of the tower, because most of the coverage direction goes one way. And yeah. Well, it's a good thing you guys forget then, because I am the worst at repeating stuff, like the worst. She hates it. I repeat all the time.
You do.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
I can't help it. Being a salesman and a people trainer, like, it's just in me.
So yeah, life tip, turn your location services on if you don't want to get accused of murder.
No. Okay. So have you guys ever known like a legit hacker, somebody that hacks for a living, and they get all their money from hacking and everything like that? What they do is they get cell phones and they will disconnect the antenna. I knew somebody who was like, they copied credit cards for a living. Okay. and they open up their cell phone and they disconnect the antenna, disconnect the microphone, and disconnect the video camera portion. So then
you can't use your phone.
But they leave connected the auxiliary plug, so that only when your headphones are plugged into the phone can you talk and hear from the phone. Otherwise you can't. Nobody can contact you without that, right? And then if they need to use their phone, all they do is pop open the screen and connect the antenna. Yeah.
That's really interesting. SB, yes, I need more cam footage too, because I agree with you. I do not think it's his car in those pictures that we've seen so far.
I want to show them something because I didn't bring this up in the video. Maybe I should save it until after the video.
Okay, then do it.
Well, we're on the topic, so.
You got to share the tab.
Yep. Okay, this right here, you guys. So this costs like $250,000. Okay, so like $250,000, and police tactical units and high-end like SWAT teams and things like that have these devices, and they're used when people are in a large gathering, whether it is a riot or it is a concert or it's any kind of gathering, and they want to know who's around there. Have you ever been in those situations where all of a sudden everyone's service stops working and most people think, oh, the towers are overcrowded, right? And sometimes that could be the case depending on where you're at, but a lot of times it is this thing right here, this Stingray. And all they do is switch this bad boy on, and it draws all the cell phone towers data into it, and your phones connect directly to this, and it pulls the whole list of IMEI, rough general location based on the strength of your signal with the Stingray and your phone. And then they're able to connect your IMEI and serial number with you owning the device. So they literally have a list of every single person who's there. Is that scary or what?
It is scary.
Terrifying. It's terrifying.
It's Spokane. No, I'm going to say Spokane.
I think it is Spokane, isn't it?
J Ray said it's Spokane.
I would trust J Ray. Like,
I trust J Ray, but
she's on it with.
I don't agree with the people who pronounce it that way, and I think that is not okay.
Look, I think part of the reason that we're awful with names
is I pronounce them the way it reads. Like
yes,
it's spelled that way, so I pronounce it that way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Here, I'm going to pull this bad boy back up so we can get back over to that.
Vargas has T-Mobile.
Oh, Vargas has T-Mobile. T-Mobile shows some of the best coverage in the area, but T-Mobile does use a lot of small cells, which, so T-Mobile has these small cells that can be plugged in by some of them you can literally plug them directly into a wall. Some of them you got to plug them into a data connection for your internet or whatever, and it could and should be powering phones like in a general area, like I don't know, 100 yards. Let's just say 100 yards. I don't remember the exact coverage area, but it'll power phones within that 100-yard area and boost their signal or run the data connection through the internet connection, depending on which one it is. So, yeah.
Oh, okay, J Ray. Yeah, you should email your theory or put it in a comment or something, because I'm curious what you're talking about.
Yeah, and we just gave a shout out to Truth and Transparency. So TNT watched our Dr. Moore video and left a comment on it, which like we appreciate, man. And they were super positive and just thanked us for covering that so that more information gets out there, more people know about it. And that's awesome. So when we did our pre-recorded podcast this Friday, we put them in there in the intro with their tag and everything. So yeah, shout out to them. They are awesome. But
she said, haha, I also disagree, but I know it's correct.
What?
That they pronounce it Spokane,
Oh.
but not Spokane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing with Moscow. Like, it's not
It's
spelled
Moscow.
Moscow.
I know.
It's spelled Moscow. But, you know.
Yeah.
It's like that in the Murdoch case too. You know how many different names we've heard? Well, like Alex, it's spelled Alex, not Alec, you know, but everyone expects you to call him Alec.
You pronounce this show as what?
Though tree OT.
Though trio T?
Yeah.
What?
That's funny. So going back to the Sandra Ladd, Travis and Jamie Lynn Jewton, and Idaho 4. I don't know about you guys. I what this made me want to do is come up with a formula, a statistical formula, and look at the past known serial enders and how many relevant and correlating details they had in their crimes, and come up with a percentage, right? So what's the percentage of likelihood when there's this much percent of correlating factors in any amount of crimes? Is this the same person, you know?
Mm-hmm. So Kate Sherwood put up this comment. Hey Kate, and hi Casey, I saw your comment saying hi earlier. She was talking about the stingray that you were talking about, and that cases that it's been used in have been dismissed.
Yes, but one thing to remember is information rules the world, you guys. So while those cases might have been dismissed, you are forever on a list. You're forever on a list at that point.
Where did Harsh said he watched our video? That's so cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Harsh is awesome.
He is.
I really like.
We love Harsh over here.
Yeah. I really like his personality. He
too.
Comes off like kind of a tough dude, but like you can tell he has a big heart for people.
No way.
Yeah.
I think he's a huge softie. Oh no,
Yeah.
Sorry, Harsh. You're a tough dude. That's probably not people. I don't know. Guys probably don't like being.
I mean, I don't
described
care.
as a softie, but he just is like a big teddy bear. Like, he's one of those people I feel like I could sit there and talk to for literally hours.
Yep.
Like, you've known him your whole life.
I want people to think I'm like the weakest guy ever.
He is a
That's
teddy
my
bear.
goal.
I agree, Amanda. He is.
I'm the weakest guy ever. All right, so I don't know about you guys, but isn't it crazy that all of this happens on the 13th at 3 a.m.?
Yeah, Sandra's the only one that's a bit iffy on the actual time, because she was found so much after.
Is it though? Because the details around them finding her is she was in bed.
Yeah.
She was found in her bed where they could tell she was asleep under the covers, and whoever it was came in with no forced entry. So more than likely they knew that they had a door open, a window open, something of that nature. Oh, you know what I forgot to put on here is that all of them, they believe, left out the door. So all these people had an unlocked door. Now with the Jewtons, the Jewtons had somebody there sleeping on their couch. And the Ender walked right past the person on the couch.
I thought they were in the guest bedroom. They weren't?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they were on the couch because they walked right past them, and that's how they know that they had a mask on. Because Travis is gone. Jamie Lynn doesn't remember anything. That person was on the couch, heard all the commotion and everything going on, and caught a glimpse of that person walking out. I'm almost positive they were on the couch.
They did see him.
They did. The eyewitness saw them walking out. And that's confirmed at 3 a.m.
Okay, do we have a suspect description by that person?
Nope, it was dark and they had a mask on, a ski mask.
Yeah.
That is the description.
Okay, but that's just like Dylan's.
I
okay,
agreed.
But in Dylan's, we at least have bushy eyebrows and the build that it was about 5'10".
I know.
And that they were like slim, athletic kind of maybe looking.
They did, DC. Did the person on the couch hear the ending? Yes, they did. So the reason why there was someone on the couch there in the Juden case is they were leaving to Hawaii the very next morning. The very next morning they were going to Hawaii. And they had a friend who was going to stay over at their house while they were in Hawaii and take care of their cat. That person was sleeping on the sofa in their house, and somebody came in and started the crime. The person, the friend that was on the sofa, woke up because of the sound and caught a glimpse when they were going to look who it was of the person leaving. And they said they were walking out. Weird. Jamie Lynn survived.
But she can't remember anything.
She cannot remember anything. Which it isn't uncommon. How many times she got stabbed? 19?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she got stabbed 19 times.
She had
so you're talking blood loss, which could cause memory issues, trauma.
She had skull fractures, so she had head trauma too.
Yep.
Because I looked up, I found her injuries, and her skull was literally fractured. So I'm thinking maybe she either fell or something happened, or got thrown around and her head got hit, or got stabbed in the head.
Yeah. Adam, I don't know what I think right now. I don't know. I feel like there is not enough evidence one way or the other. I think it is very possible he didn't do it. I think that if he did do it, there's more people in the story than just him. And the reason why I feel that way is because somebody who did this, I think, had to have had experience in doing this to be able to do it the way that they did. Unless, again, there are more factors that come into play that we just don't know about, like a cleaning, like, dirtying the crime scene when the 911 call came in and supposedly 10 different people were in the house. I mean, there's just too many factors that make me not know. I hope BK did it. I hope he's the one who did it. I want him to be, so that we know that the right person is off the streets. But if there's any worth to this here, the Sandra Ladd, Jamie Lynn Juden, and Idaho 4 story, Kohberger was 100%, receipts and everything, not in the area during that time. For both of these, he was registered in DeSales University in Pennsylvania. For Sandra Ladd, he was currently going to school in DeSales University. For Travis and Jamie Lynn Juden, there's post-graduation courses for law enforcement through DeSales, and he was in one of those classes. So he had already gotten his degree by this point with the Jutens, and that was August 13th, 2021, and he was taking post-graduation classes. Could he have been the driver? Could he have had some kind of knowledge, pre-existing knowledge that there was gonna be a crime? We know for 100% certainty that he had an interest in serial enders, right? Because while he was in Pennsylvania, he put out a questionnaire trying to list, talk to, and investigate people that have been involved in these, which is more than likely going to end up being someone who's military. So I don't know. I think any of those things are possible, and we just got to figure out the right amount of evidence that's true evidence to learn what that true story is, the storyline. What are you looking up?
Sandra Ladd's family, like you asked me to
Oh,
earlier.
yeah,
I have
yeah,
her.
yeah.
I have her
Here.
obituary.
Yeah. What does it say she's survived by?
Just do Ladd obituary. She has 6 grandchildren.
6? Are you sure? I thought it was 12.
She survived by right here.
Okay, Sandra is survived by her daughter, sons, and 6 grand. Okay, so I think it's 12 people in total, right? So we have daughter 1,
Son
2 of Washington, 3, 4, 5. So 11 because of 6 grandchildren, right? So she has 11 family members. And when we look at serial enders, for whatever reason, serial enders tend to, and a lot of times it's from abuse and trauma growing up, but they have mother issues. They end their mom, they end a family member, something of that nature. They also like to focus on a
10.
more weaker person. Is it 10?
There's 3 sons and a daughter. And so that's 4
1
plus 6 grandkids. That's 10.
2, 3, 4. Okay. Because we have James, Trevor, Ryan, Michaela. Okay, 10. Sandra was preceded in her death by her parents and brother. Okay. Interesting.
Why everybody gets the date of death like mixed up? Some it's 13th, some it's 14th.
Because she was found on the 14th, but believed to be, so she wasn't found till 24 hours after the crime. Yeah, DC. Yes, and that's actually what we saw in Sandra Ladd and that's why I think that it could be relevant to be a first crime of a serial ender, because it was a whole bunch of stabs like this to the torso in a very close, tight-knit area where Jamie Lynn Jewton, I don't think that went as planned. And then the Idaho 4. The cooldown is very, very similar. Very, very similar here. Assuming Sandra Ladd is number 1, the Jewtons was 14 months after, and then Idaho 4 was 15 months after. So this could be, so if we're pretending this is one person here, you got to remember this 14 months is the ramp up. In all of these situations, I feel like there had to be some kind of stalking going on to know that they were going to be able to gain access to the house. None of them were forced entry. None of them. They walked in on all of them. Maybe they went in a window and left through the front door, but all of them left through a door. Confirmed. Left through a door.
Hey, Geo Clark. Welcome to the live stream. Glad you're here. We have concerns about that too.
Yes, absolutely. We do.
DM could have overpowered any of those girls.
And
she was a very tall girl.
She was a tall girl. Yep. And yeah, so anyone new and just hopping on here, welcome. We appreciate all of you for being here. This is one of our favorite things to do with the podcast, is get on here and talk with our community. It's honestly something I look forward to every day, that it's a live stream day. So we want to hear your opinions. We want to hear your theories, and all theories are welcome. Literally all of them. We will never, ever, ever put somebody down for having a theory that doesn't align with what we believe or think. We will never make somebody feel like their theory isn't okay or anything like that. And for our viewers and community that's been here a while, they'll tell you, like, most of them feel comfortable being like, yo, you're full of it. That's not true, you know?
Yeah,
And that's a good thing.
Yeah, we want to, I mean, have both sides here.
Yep.
Amanda said adrenaline is a hell of a drug. She thought she had an intruder and jumped out of the shower and grabbed a hunting knife like a psycho. That's me.
Funny.
That is me.
Wait, what kind of hunting knife, Amanda? A K-bar?
That's not a hunting knife.
Right. You know, I think it was it Liz? I think it was Liz saying that the K-bar is actually a really weak knife, that the tip breaks a lot.
Oh, really?
Which is strange because we watched that video of the K-bar knife where the dude is literally chopping a 4-inch tree branch in half with it. I don't want to watch it again because we got whatever on it.
Jerry said, yeah, I call Brendan on his stuff all the time.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
Dan
like
did
it, but
have some serious lip filler. You're right.
Most of our community helps me out too. So
I also noticed that Dylan has trained herself to do like duck face in every single picture.
Yep.
Like she literally has trained herself to upturn her lip, which I do think part of it's lip filter, but the way she holds her mouth open a little bit shows that she's trained herself to do that. It is bigger than a K-bar. Amanda's knife.
Yes.
So I see what you're saying, SB. I've been reading your comments about, you know, BK possibly being, you know, guilty and the adrenaline and like people underestimate people's will and stuff like that. I just think 7 minutes is real quick.
Yeah.
Like that's really quick to be able to get in and out of a 3-story home, which if he only ever went to 2 stories of it, you know, that obviously cuts down on a little bit of time. But to end 4 people, and we know for a fact at least 2 of those people fought back. It's just real quick.
Yeah, and for me, it's not even like the time stands out a lot for me, but
without experience, yes, Adam.
What?
7 minutes is quick for a person without any experience, which is what we're being told pretty much because they can't find anything else on him.
Yep. And why that's important too, just so you can have some reference and something to look at to explain it. So if you look at serial killers talking about serial enders, talking about their first time ending someone, they will say that almost all of them had an uncontrollable emotional reaction that lasted a long time. We listened to the female Canadian ender, and she couldn't stop laughing for like, how long was it? Like a long time, just uncontrollable laughter. And
it's Elizabeth
and crying
Weddle,
and laughing or whatever.
Elizabeth Weddlehofer from Canada. She was a nurse that killed elderly people.
Yep. Who was the one who threw up from excitement? I think it's Gain, Ed Gein or whatever. And then you have BTK, who I think almost passed out, but there's some sort of emotional reaction for the first time you do this. And if we're assuming that it's BK and has never done this before, which I believe with the FBI's help, they would have been able to connect something going through his entire past, right? Then, where was I going with this? I don't remember where I was going with this, but if it was BK, I believe that it's too short of a time for him for his first kill. Plus, it doesn't match the normal ender MO where they're going after somebody weaker, younger, something of that nature.
Yeah, so who
What?
was it that was just asking about the dates? Lori asked about the dates. Is that 6/13 and 8/13? Yes, it is.
Oh gosh, I don't want him to be innocent.
You have
SB.
it. You have it in like UK format here, and then you have this one in like
Oh.
US format.
I'm sorry.
So.
I'm sorry.
Dude, Brendan, what did he say? I was kind of ignoring him. I was blocking him.
What did I say?
I don't know what you said.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you guys, I do think the Emma stuff is suspect. Okay,
It's super sus, especially if that audio's real.
I know if the audio's real, you hear someone saying Emma.
Yeah,
So,
very clear.
Regina
Get
said,
out here, Emma.
Right. Oh, by the way, her parents are selling their house that she grew up in Moscow. They're like literally leaving town.
Yeah, they have to. Too many people feel some type of way about him, man. They do. And
oh, you want BK to be innocent, but you think it's very possible that he did this. Yeah, I don't want him to be innocent.
I want him guilty.
I want him to be guilty.
Yeah.
I hope that he is, because if he's not, it's terrifying what that means.
Yep.
So just hi, Regina.
Yes, hello everybody. And if you're having a good time, we'd appreciate you hitting that like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to us. We do this 4 times a week and then put out podcast videos, which are pre-recorded podcasts, almost every day of the week. And then on Fridays, we put out the long forum podcast, which is the 3, this week's 5 hours, that comes out Friday. So you can catch any of those, all of them, and we appreciate all of you, and we try to be super positive, welcoming to everybody. We want all theories, all input, all everything. If you want to talk about crime, we want to talk about it with you.
Wait, you hear Kopaka in that audio? I don't remember hearing that in the audio. Which audio are you talking about? We're talking about the one that's the distorted audio that's like 50 feet.
Yeah.
From Xana's room.
The one that we've shouted out True Crime Design for a lot. And that audio that's supposed to be 50 feet from the room and is super disturbing.
See, Liz, I understand that. You don't want him to be guilty, him ruining his life and all of that. His life is ruined.
Yeah.
That's why I want him to be guilty, because his life is now ruined. Even if he's innocent. If he's innocent, his life's ruined. And that's super sad. Like, it makes me more sad an innocent man being up there and his life being ruined and him being set up than a guilty person being up there and their life just being ruined because of their own, wrongdoings.
Yeah.
And yeah, Kate, I feel like they did debunk it way too fast, but I think it's very possible that leaked and they were like, oh crap, like that's our evidence. And they went around saying, tell everyone that's not true. Yeah. That's debunked, like of course they would do that.
Absolutely.
Okay, get back to your evidence.
I mean, I think it's really important in all 3 of these here that it is a long, sharp-edged weapon, and they don't have it. And they didn't give an example of what that weapon is, and that's kind of uncommon.
It is. And I feel like it's really strange we don't have a suspect description from the Juten case, because we have someone who literally saw them, and we have someone who survived it. Why do we not have a little bit more? I understand the masked figure and all that. But why don't we have, it was an overweight person, or it was a scrawny person, or it was a really tall or a short person, like just a very general basic description.
Yeah, I hear you.
They got reward money out for this, and they have a whole flyer for the Travis Juten to help find his killer. Yet we don't have a how is anybody supposed to find this person if we have 0 description?
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
Nothing. We have literally nothing to look for.
I mean, the description that we have is a masked assailant, ski mask in both of them. So, I don't know. I mean, imagine being the person that's staying on, and this is in reference to the Juten case. Imagine being the house sitter that's watching the cat, and you're asleep on the couch, and you get woken up from a dead sleep from yelling and commotion and screaming, and you're trying to figure out what's going on, and you just see someone walking out the room and outside. Would you be able to be like, oh, clocked white shoes, okay, black jeans, they were jean material, that's a sweatshirt?
I'm not.
No.
You're going off details. I'm saying very basic, like
an outline of them. But if their house is dark and they're clad in black,
yeah, I see what you're saying, but
you know,
yeah,
the only thing that I think you would be able to do is estimate from memory where their eyes were, because we know they were wearing a ski mask, right? So where was the eye in relation to your eyes? Were you standing there looking them in the eye?
There's ways they can extract that. Yeah, you're right.
But you still have what, another 5 inches between eyes and top of head, so that's a tough one.
So
in a dark room.
Here's the thing with this. Yes, you guys are right. He could go on, if he's found innocent, to become a criminal analyst or something, and like, but that's assuming. That is assuming that the public at large will think that he's actually innocent, or if this will be a case like O.J. Simpson or Casey Anthony, where he'll live a lot of his life in hiding because everyone thinks he got away with murder.
Yep.
So I'm not convinced his life is just going to be, you know, like picnics and roses and whatever for the rest of the chance that he could live partially in hiding.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's a lot of people that are emotionally bought in to him being the killer. And he could be exonerated and everyone still think that he's guilty.
Not could. That is what will happen.
Maybe.
No, 100%. We see it right now with the split in society and the people who are interested in this case. You have a large portion that want, believe, or need him to be guilty. You have a large portion that want, need, or believe that he's innocent. You have some people that just don't know, are in the middle. So if they prove his innocence in court, right, you don't think the same people that want, need, or believe him to be guilty will look at Ann Taylor and Bryan Kohberger and be like, such a conspiracy, the state let him off because of this reason, and this reason, in the same way that the people that believe that he's innocent are doing now.
Yeah.
All it will do is flip. He's screwed. He is toast, man, unfortunately.
So, yeah, I
would
agree.
move to Canada.
I would move too. God T said, go watch the Mads Mikkelsen movie. It shows how being falsely accused can ruin your life forever.
Yeah.
And Liz said, you know, let's find out who did it. So that's the only way I think his life wouldn't be ruined, is if this crime, if he got exonerated and this crime actually got solved.
I agree.
And we found out who did do it, then he would be okay.
I agree. I agree 100%.
If we can't solve it, then
here
people are going to think it's him.
Yeah, I guess I am being kind of pessimistic in my view, because I'm under the assumption that this case is being managed in the same way that the Dr. Moore case was being managed, right? And we're now going on what? When was the doctor? When was he ended? We're going on how many years now of first a false confession and conviction, then he proved his innocence, got let out, and the police stalked him instead of finding out who the real person was. So now we're left with nobody again in this situation. So is this going to turn into the same type of situation?
It was March 12th, 2021.
There we go. So we are at 2 years, 2.5 years.
That was a good comment though, Ian, that life as he knows it it's over now.
Yep. Yeah, I think that it's very possible. I really do. I really do. And you got to remember too, when it comes to court cases,
Thanks, Cynthia.
the retrial, it is normally, what's the success rate? I think the success rate of getting off when you,
how do you even search that? You search it, because I don't even know how to phrase that right now.
what's the success percentage of a, it's not a, it's appeal. $7 to 20%.
That they get found guilty?
No, overturned.
Oh.
Bankruptcy, criminal. So 7%. And I don't know when this is dated though.
Huh. DC, if BK was looking down when he walked by Dylan because of the step down to the kitchen, then he would have appeared even taller. So why would she say 5'10"? That's my question. Because of that, it was 4 inches.
Yeah. And if he's already 6'4", that would have put him at 6'8".
Yeah, J. Ray. Yeah. Solving it is, I mean, if he's exonerated, the case will just be cold.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do feel like that is what will happen.
Y'all are definitely pessimistic, not kinda. He's not. I'm more pessimistic than he is. I think we can see how society has treated people that were thought to be guilty but exonerated in the past.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I think the only way the public at large is going to believe he's truly innocent is if the crime gets solved.
There's a good frame of reference back up.
I would love for yeah, there is. And I would love for people to like be more forgiving, and because like I've known people out of prison, and it is, they can definitely do it. Like they can definitely come back into society and have a life, but it's hard.
Yeah, it's really hard. I mean,
super hard.
Maybe if you work in some kind of human rights or start your own business, but the reality of the situation is my whole life and career, I've worked in corporate America, and corporate America makes safe decisions. So when you have somebody that could have been this person, this serial or mass ender, and you have 2 people applying for a job, they are never going to pick him over the other applicant. It just won't happen. It will not happen. The number one concern will be, how will my other employees feel? What will my other employees think? If there's a sliver of doubt there, you're not going to get hired. And I think that's my biggest concern. Not that he couldn't have somewhere to live or, yeah, this is great. Exactly. Absolutely. He totally could. Making income in another way that's not,
relying on other people.
His current life choice. So I would be shocked if he just picked up where he left off and continued. He probably wouldn't even get accepted into another college,
Yes, BK could absolutely sue if he gets off.
Yep.
He could absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think that there probably is more that we don't know. For sure. I think there's more. But
there is more.
There's
more DNA samples. Like
in a probable cause affidavit, they usually give their best information. They give the most damning evidence.
Yep.
And what's there isn't damning. It's damning to the public at large who haven't looked into it, who don't see how unreliable cell tower data is, who don't see how unreliable touch DNA is, and other things that it's just their most damning evidence isn't that damning. There's a lot of room for doubt.
Yep. No, there is. And one thing that we always reference back to is Gilgo 4, you guys. That is a great case put together by the FBI that you can take out any 1 or 2 pieces of evidence in that case, and it still is enough evidence to land a conviction. Now, you look at this case and none of it. You can't take out any of it. You might not even have a case right now with all of it. You know, but they did a really good job about making it seem like they had a slam dunk case. And again, just going back to, for the new people that are in here, I hope Bryan Kohberger is guilty. I really do, because I'm terrified of whoever could do that being free out in society. That is a terrifying idea, and that gives them the chance to be able to do it again. Now, if he's not guilty, I mean, that sucks.
This is a
and
good
I don't
one.
know if we're going to be able to find the guilty person.
Yes, this is a great comment, Liz. They were counting on smoking guns with their search warrants. They were counting on finding DNA all up in that car, in that apartment. They were counting on it, and they didn't get it, which is, I think, has fueled the theories and the speculation even more.
Yeah.
They slapped a gag order on everything, and then we find out there's nothing in the car that you're claiming was that's how they're placing him at the crime scene. They're saying that he was circling the house, and they have it on these cameras, which apparently none of the cameras got him directly at the house.
Yeah.
From what we see, they just leave that out. I mean, it's just nothing.
It's strange.
Just nothing.
No, it's really strange. At the stretch, at the lengths that law enforcement went to land him. It's a huge stretch in the same kind of way that we saw in the Dr. Moore case.
Wait, what? Yeah, they did, to figure out the other 3 DNA found. They're going a couple million for the case. They didn't follow through with it, though.
I appreciate that, Gio.
Where?
Right there. We hope so too, for the families. I feel so bad. Well, Steve Gonsalves is known for coming out and saying off the wall stuff. I also feel for him every time I see him on some kind of new interview, some kind of new statement, because I feel like we're literally watching him go through his grief. We're seeing it happen with doubt, questioning, pain, sadness. Like, we're seeing all the stages of grief in these videos, and he'll be on one video making one statement, and then on the next video making a different statement. And that's literally the grief we're seeing. And it's so awful to see that he feels like this is needed to protect his daughter, you know?
Without the touch DNA, would they still be able to tie BK to these murders? And I don't think so. I think this would get thrown out. And isn't that funny that when they referenced it in the arrest warrant, they were like, but we're not going to bring this up in court. This is just for getting the warrant. It won't be brought to court. And they were trying to kind of hide it. Yeah.
And you guys know why, right? So touch DNA is not regular DNA. It is not direct DNA. So touch DNA is not allowed in most court systems in the world. Touch DNA is not allowed in our military court system. For our military, what's that called? I forget. The court system, like JAG or whatever. I don't know. It'll come to me in a minute. ADHD brain. But it's not allowed to be presented in the military court cases because of how unreliable it is. In most other countries in the world, it's not allowed. So why it's allowed here, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. But when they present
in an interview and say, hey, we got a slam dunk case. We have DNA that puts this person here. Yes, technically you do have DNA that puts a person there, but it's DNA that can be transferred through multiple people and multiple bodies to ultimately land at the crime scene. NCIS. Yes. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. That is it.
Regina, you live near Long Island. Took 13 years to get the bad cop out to catch him. That
For Gilgo?
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it was the cops though. It was the chief, right? Wasn't it was it the district attorney?
What?
I'm drawing a blank right now. The fraudulent one.
It was
the
chief of police.
It was the chief of police that ended up being convicted by the FBI for a fraud case for money laundering or something of that nature. So what he ended up doing is kicking the FBI out of the case when the FBI had all the evidence to convict or land in Gilgo. Yeah. I got to go to the bathroom real quick.
Hi, Built to Spill. Kaylee's mom she's having a tough time with all of it. You know, when I saw her in the 48 hours and they asked her, like, they were showing how Steve and her are still close despite this, because, you know, the death of a child can really rip families apart. And it's impressive that they are supporting each other so well through their grief. But they asked them, like, Steve, like, are you open to it being somebody else? And he was like, yeah. And then they asked her, and he had to encourage her and be like, it's okay. You know, it's okay. You can say it. And she said, just no. Like, no, that was it. And I could tell that was kind of almost difficult for her to say. Why do you guys think that was hard for her to say? Because I've been pondering that since. Why was that so difficult for her to say? If you believe he did it, I mean, and I'm not judging her or anything in this, so don't take it that way. But I'm questioning, is she seeing everything online and all the doubt being cast? And like, I don't know. I'm just so curious why that was difficult for her to say. But I am surprised she has been able to from the beginning. I mean, the first interview before Kohberger was even named a suspect, she was doing interviews and holding it together. I think as a parent, I would have literally lost my stuff. You know, I don't know if I'd even be able to talk.
Okay, so I have a question for everyone to get back to the Sandra Ladd, Juten, and Idaho 4 case. Let's try and disprove this.
Court-martial.
What are some reasons? Yes. What are some reasons why there would be so many similarities, commonalities in these that would make sense? What could disprove this? Because I can't think of any other than they knew each other. If it's not the same person, then they knew each other, right? This isn't a copycat. They aren't copying somebody. If these are all different people, they all had experience with knives, at least enough to know about knife slip, to not leave direct DNA evidence behind, which is super uncommon. Most people that are first with knives don't know that you need to have a knife with a handguard on it because you have to worry about knife slip once bodily fluids start going everywhere.
I think it's really interesting. In none of these cases, there's no DNA except for in Idaho 4, we have the sheath with touch DNA, which isn't like super reliable. It's not reliable.
Direct DNA.
Right.
Yep.
Which touch DNA, from what I heard from Vargas's interview, is she said, which, by the way, she made it super clear, she never handles the specimen. Like, she never, ever touches that. She only looks at, like, the data that comes from that specimen.
Okay.
So the lab extracts it, then she takes it and does her whole genealogy thing, you know, with the data.
Okay. So then
She said it
Kohberger's
comes
DNA was found and kept at the FBI lab. then.
right, because she said they have
Got
to
it.
maintain the chain of the chain of command or whatever she was saying, like the chain of custody. That's what I'm looking for. The chain of custody. It can't like be passed around too many places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's possible, Amanda, that her and Steve are on different pages in that book. You know what I mean? Like Steve thinks there's a possibility it could be somebody else, but I still think Steve wants BK to be guilty. I do. I think he does. But I think that he sees glaring red flags like the rest of us do. And I think she just can't. If I had to guess that she's a really intelligent person and maybe sees the red flags, but emotionally can't go there. She just can't go there because it's her daughter. You know what I mean? Like it's just too much to think that about all of that. But anyway,
if anyone needs to believe that it's Kohberger, it's going to be the victims' families. It's going to be. Yeah, they won't release the chain of custody. The only thing that we do know is that it went to the lab, you guys, that won an award for their efficiency and was tested for DNA and none was found. Then it was transferred to the FBI lab where DNA was found. It's very strange. Very, very, very strange.
hi, Lisa.
Hey.
I don't know if they'll end up divorced or not. They have a new grandbaby, and maybe they
I
will,
hope
maybe
not.
they won't.
I hope
But I
not.
hope, I really hope not. And it seems like they are supporting each other well. I mean, at least it seems that way publicly.
Yeah.
Publicly, it seems that way.
Yeah.
We have no idea what's going on.
I think a
real.
potential disagreement makes people worried that there could be some infighting in the house, though. You know what I mean? I just hope not. I hope not. Normally, when something happens like this, we see couples who either get closer or unfortunately get further apart, you know?
Yeah, but anyway, like I was saying, she was saying they had to keep the chain of custody, so no genealogy labs handle specimens. You know what I mean? So, anyway, she was saying that touch DNA comes from like she said something, I don't even remember it, but the oils on your hands. So like little I thought it was like straight up skin cells, but it also has something to do with the oils.
It is skin cells. I'm positive it's skin cells.
Okay.
But it probably is oils too.
Okay.
Yeah. It probably is oils too.
It's probably a mixture.
Yeah, because I think when you leave a fingerprint, you can get touch DNA from the fingerprint now.
Yeah.
You can extract it from the fingerprint.
But she made it very clear that, like, say I went into a shop and I touched a pillow, and then, you know, somebody came and bought that pillow, and then they committed a crime, you know, on the pillow, like, then I'm connected to the crime scene.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. So that almost makes you question. So the police went to an army surplus store while they were investigating all of this, and they said they were looking for a K-bar knife.
Yeah.
There's an army surplus store in Moscow. Bryan said the shopping's better in Moscow. What if he stopped by that shop at some point and touched a freaking knife sheath in there, a knife, and was playing around with the knives? And the person did wipe it down, but Bryan, from opening the snap, his DNA is under the freaking button.
Under the snap. Yeah. It's totally possible.
Could have been anybody's DNA at that point.
Yeah, I bet a lot of crimes have been committed on pillows.
Tons of crimes have been committed on pillows.
But no, I think that's a realistic possibility. I really do. I really do. And I think going back to these, right, including the Idaho 4, you have to have at least had some kind of skill not to leave your DNA here. Like the taped eyebrows. We know that was funny. You know, it was a joke. And the picture was funny, but if an eyebrow came out during a fight and there was thorough police work, they would have found it.
Mm-hmm.
They would have. Gosh, I wish I would have had my eyebrows taped when I turned on the live stream. Just been super close with my eyebrows.
I love that picture. It's so funny.
It is funny. Here, let's see it. Where is it?
You're a Lisa said, I'm a master level social worker.
I'm a master level sociopath. Where's the taped eyebrows? There we go.
What? Ian said, Lisa Baker, whoa, Yolo County? If so, you might have been my boss? What is happening? Where did she even
Look,
say
there we
Yolo
go.
County?
Now that's how you do a crime and not get caught. My face in the back, look. That's so funny.
And I look annoyed or something. You
I
should
think
screenshot that.
I know I should. I think you were just tired.
I was super
Yeah.
tired.
The last two podcasts have been really rough on us. We were sick, or the one on Friday, I had a sinus infection. I could barely get through
You
it.
look like
man.
this. You look like
I know, my face was swollen.
you were suffering.
I was. I know.
Like hardcore suffering.
I know.
When I look at the pictures after, because I was cutting them out to do thumbnails, I was like, I look orange next to you. And I was like, what is wrong with this? Because I always increase the saturation by a certain percentage. Like it's always like 10% or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was putting it on and it was making me look orange, and you looked like normal. So then I took it off and I was like, what's going on here? It's because you were like a ghost. You were like super pale.
I know. Trust me, I know.
Afrin head. I know. He needs to go to a doctor.
Yeah. I know.
It's so bad. Do not ever use Afrin, you guys. And if you do not use it longer than a couple days, please, for the love of everything that is holy in the world.
I actually stay up on my eyebrows because I think I would have bushy eyebrows, so none came out. But I thought the same thing when I pulled off the tape. I was like, how many are gonna come off?
He does look like a cartoon in that, Amanda. It does. The whole thing.
It's super funny.
I didn't know you could make a face like that.
You know what's funny is I was searching for taped eyebrows when I was doing editing. I'm like, God, why can't I find taped eyebrows, you know? And Malia's like, what do you mean? You're not going to find that. Just take a picture of your eyebrows taped. That's super funny. Love it.
It didn't make them look bushier, though.
I feel like it could.
No.
Yes, that could be bushy when they're pushed down flat.
No.
I think it could.
No. I don't get addicted to Afrin, but it's crazy that it's so addictive. Then you must not get the rebound swelling like most people for some reason. The addictive part is not really like I need Afrin.
No.
It is, or like you feel yucky because you don't have it. It literally causes swelling.
Yeah,
so
like I would
intense.
sound like this.
Yeah. And
my nose would be closed.
Yeah.
That's it.
I touched a new Funko Pop and the box is different and I left oily prints all over it.
Yeah, so going back to this though, what are some theories? What are some theories how these could have so many similarities? I'm curious. Can you think of any? Because I just see a number one crime with Sandra. This looks like a first crime to me right here.
It does to me too.
No one was home. Who knows how long the person was in there after the crime was done? She lived alone. We have no reports of animals. She wasn't found for 24 hours after. It was all very quick, close, like ba 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 ba. You know what I mean? She was in her bed asleep. The the criminal was probably able to walk up on her. Then you have number 2, which is quite a bit more bold. Same type of weapon, same time, same date. They had pets. They actually had another person there. They didn't try attacking the other person because maybe it didn't fit what their stalking narrative is that they created in their head and they wanted to happen. I don't know. But they ended up not getting both of them. They ended up only getting one of them because Travis fought the assailant off and saved Jamie Lynn. And then we have the Idaho 4.
This is my favorite part of the document. Bushy eyebrows, question mark, unknown, yes, question mark. Somebody said take a picture in the dark. Gotti said take a picture in the dark and see if it's noticeable then. And yes, we do need a nose spray intervention. Brian Hoffman, he's usually in the chat. He sent us an email with a link to Flonase.
Yep.
Because that is supposed to help. And you have yet to order it.
I haven't, because
just try it.
Ian said that it's a good idea to get off it once we hit 20,000.
No, he said 3,000, which is very close.
Trust me, I want to be off the stuff, you guys. I don't want to be on it.
What's this 97?
Yes.
So you're talking about the 1997 one. We don't think that one's connected.
Oh, yeah. For the people who are new on here. So one of our viewers suggested this to us. And one thing that we really wanted to try and stay true to is responding to viewer. And, oh, that's scary. But we want to stay close to responding to viewers. And one of the viewers, when we were talking about this originally, just briefly talking about it on one of the live streams, suggested that we look at Julie Ray. Julie Ray, we ended up being able to prove isn't connected to this. They found out who the real serial ender was, and it was Tommy Lynn Sells, which is a terrifying man by himself, but he's gone. He passed away. And so this is definitely not a part of this, even though, look, the boy's 13. It was on the 13th and it was around 3 to 4 a.m. So the mom says around 4 a.m., but the police says it was between 3 and 4 a.m. So but the difference is they used her own kitchen knife. When I did research on Sandra Ladd, the Jutons, and we know with Idaho 4, they probably brought their own knife. There wasn't any knives missing from everything that we could tell.
And this is in Illinois, not the Pacific Northwest.
This is
Northwest.
This is in Illinois. And I did some Google searching to try and just very surface level, you guys, super surface level, searched if I could find any other crimes like this nationally. And I'm sure there are some out there. I'm positive. I just couldn't do it in the amount of time I gave myself to try and find them. But I'm obsessed with this, absolutely obsessed with this. And I look into it almost every day a little bit. So if there is more out there, we're going to find it. It's just a matter of time.
So now what we need to look out for is a 2023 killing on the 13th of the month at 3 a.m. in the Pacific Northwest.
Yep.
It's still 2023. There's plenty of time for it to happen. So I think... let's see. Wait, both of these happened. Okay, so it was 6, 8, and 11.
So one is June 13th, one is August 13th, and one is November 13th.
So we're coming up on the season where the cool down period, won't be so cool anymore.
We are. Yeah.
So if you live in the Pacific Northwest,
does anybody that's close to the case
be safe?
Live in the Oregon area? It was Washougal, Washington, and Salem, Oregon. Or I'm sorry, Washougal, Oregon, because that city's on state lines.
Why are you girling me, J Ray?
She's girling me.
Oh.
Forced entry, you guys.
Oh, none of them had forced entry.
No, none had forced entry. None.
Not a single one.
And these two had a masked intruder.
Yep.
So it makes me want to look up who from this area moved to this area.
Have you driven up there, Lisa, to go like check things out around BK's hometown? And hi, Miss Kelly.
What do you mean? What do you mean? No, not the same. That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I've been asking everyone on here is come up with some things to make this not true. That's what I usually look at it from that perspective. Okay, what makes this not true? Hey, Miss Kelly.
Regina. Yeah, I think you're right that that knife killings are normally that.
Yeah.
How old were the victims? So Sandra Ladd, 71, which is why we think it could be like the first killing because it was somebody close maybe to the person.
Yeah.
Travis and Jamie Lynn were 26 and 24. And then Ethan, Xana, Kaylee, and Madison, 20, 20, 21, 21.
Yep. Yep.
It doesn't really fall in a particular victimology, but I will say one thing. When I was listening to some serial, ender victimology like type stuff, somebody who was profiling serial killers, and they were talking about specifically the Rachel Morin case. They were talking about some serial killers who do not have a certain type.
Yeah, it's actually pretty common. Yep. It's pretty common.
So victimology is important in some cases, like in the Portland one that we were talking about. That one was important. Gilgo has important victimology connected, but there are some killers that don't follow that same line of picking these specific traits out of people.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that it's usually one or the other. Either you find a repetitive
Ian this whole time has been thinking Lisa is his boss. Look, sorry, Ian, but I can boss you around if I want.
If you want.
What is happening in the chat?
That's super funny. Where was I going?
I hope nothing happens either, as Gotti. I hope not. I hope another killing doesn't happen.
Yeah, I really hope.
But we need to keep an eye out for it.
We do.
Because so far
it could have already started.
2020, 2021, 2022.
Yeah.
All on
that's what I was saying.
Month.
Is normally it's one of two things. Either the way that the endings happened, the killings happened, are similar, or the victim is similar. It's normally one or the other. And the potential cooldown time is so important. It is so important.
So no, there's no other. I mean, there could be similar crimes in the eastern part of the country, but if we're trying to connect this to Kohberger, it doesn't really fit because he was in DeSales at the time of the first two.
I think this is important too. It could be a convenience factor, and that's how I was wondering about the forced entry here. I think that's really important because could there have been an element of stalking before this? And they focused in on people who didn't lock their doors for the convenience factor.
Okay, Ian. Gotcha.
I think I've known Elisa Baker before too. Oh, Lisa, you're talking about oh gosh, I know who you're talking about, and it's terrifying. the guy, man, I can't remember it right now, but the guy who ended up taking the girl from the coffee shop or whatever, it's terrifying. Yeah. He buried kits all over the US.
That's
all over.
That's super scary.
Yeah. So wherever he traveled, and he traveled all the time, there would be a kit ready for him.
Yes, Regina, the Night Stalker did kill anything and anyone.
Yep. I mean, Bundy in the co-eds.
Yeah, so Gio, people have, like, I've seen lots of people have looked in that area to see if BK was involved in any missing persons cases. Like, it's already been looked into, and so far nobody's found anything. That's something that typically police do. They will look in that area to see, like, and nothing was found. You do know that Bryan's parents were called into a grand jury hearing over there, though, for some kind of, I think, missing persons case or something. Let me look it up again.
Really?
Yeah.
Where? Post arrest?
Yeah.
So they're trying to connect other cases?
Yes, they were actively trying to.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'd be curious what
was it about? I forget what it was about.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If any of you know, let us know and we'll pull it up. It was in Pennsylvania. Yeah, and if anyone is interested too, one of the topics we're going to be covering either tomorrow or the next day is the Odinism.
In the Delphi case.
Yep. Odinism in the Delphi case. We actually found some really crazy evidence, you guys, that has not been talked about yet. So I haven't seen anybody talk about this evidence, because with the Delphi case, when I heard that, I don't know about you guys, but right away I was like, no way, dude, not possible, not happening. No, I love going down tin hat holes, but normally it lands somewhere in the middle, in between, total conspiracy and mainstream storyline. So when I heard that whole Odinism thing, I just doubted it right away. So I immediately tried to disprove it by pulling up, pictures and people of the area and things like that, and doing my own research. And I shocked myself because I found information proving it, not disproving it. So
yeah, it didn't for a fact prove it.
I mean, that's a big coincidence.
It is a weird
big coincidence with multiple things that I've never heard of Odinism or Odin focused things before. Then all of a sudden, bam.
But it does exist. Like, there are people, it's called something else. It's not called Odinism. It's called RS. What is it called again? It starts with an A. It's called Asatru or something like that.
Asatru?
It's ASATRU.
Huh. Okay.
The Odinic Rite religious movement is a Reconstructionist religious organization named after the god Odin. It conceives itself a folkish heathen movement concerned with Germanic paganism, mythology, folklore, and runes. Founded in 1973. I also heard
1973.
Yeah, I also heard Coffin Daffer, which I know, and nobody likes her here, but she did talk about a serial ending at a school in, was it Finland or Norway? It was Norway. And that there have been at least 6 killings, that are related to Odinism.
Yeah, and I don't think that, I think Norse paganism is a really interesting idea and really neat, but I know not everyone is, an ender that follows that. But what's interesting is I just haven't heard of it. It's not just out in the open everywhere, you know? And when I went to go disprove it to myself, like, dude, there's nothing going on down there like this. All of a sudden I find a lot of evidence showing that something is. There's a lot of people who believe that in a small place, you know?
Mm-hmm. There are.
But okay, so here we go on the right-hand side. The parents of accused Ender Bryan Kohberger have been called to testify before a Pennsylvania grand jury in the case of a woman found dead a year after she disappeared. The couple was asked to provide testimony in the case of 45-year-old Dana Smithers, whose remains were found late last month after she disappeared in May 2022. Smithers was last seen alive leaving a friend's home in Monroe County, the same county where Kohberger lived before moving across the country to pursue a doctorate in Washington State University. However, a source close to the case said Kohberger has a solid alibi and is not believed to be linked to Smithers' death, according to the Pennsylvania outlet. Nevertheless, the investigation is ongoing. Where's the full name? Let me see. I need to save that. Add it to our huge list of cases to cover. That's interesting though.
Is Israel Keys the one who, is it this guy that hid the kill kits? Is that what you guys are talking about?
Yes.
I don't see it saying that, so I don't know if that's actually...
Yes. Yeah, it could be total coincidence. Absolutely. I understand that. Yeah, for sure.
Well, see, with the Delphi case, the only thing is I'm going to have to dig into it more. I'm not totally buying it. I'm not buying the occult aspect to it, but I'm going to look into it more, especially tomorrow before we, do the live stream about it, because I want to bring more to the table to weigh the possibilities.
Yeah, if I'm done with editing tomorrow, I'm trying.
Oh, okay.
So if not, it might have to be Wednesday. So
okay,
I'm trying though.
Okay, that's fine.
This week's podcast was 5 hours, you guys. We didn't time ourselves.
We normally have a timer running, and this is the worst time it could be that long because of how bad you were feeling.
I know.
But yeah, normally we have a timer running, and for some reason both of us just didn't set the timer.
Yes.
Yes, Regina, the two bridge guy picks, I know. That's an interesting part of it.
Dude, these just get me so much. The no forced entry and no DNA, direct DNA. These two together make me feel like they're skilled. They have experience. They've done this before.
Yeah. I think so too. I'm
curious to see who close to the case has lived in this area, the Washington area. Here, I'll pull it up in a map real quick.
Yeah, I want to know that too. So, yes, I did hear that Bethany saw the killer, but he was nude. But I don't know where that...
It just hasn't been confirmed yet.
No, it hasn't been. And I don't know where that information comes from, because there's also contradictory evidence that I'm more inclined to believe that he was clad in black and looked the same as what Dylan saw, but was walking another way. Like, I think the exculpatory part of that is going to be about the car in my opinion, if it's confirmed. But I did hear that whole nude thing. I just don't know where that came from.
Yep. And see how close this is to Portland too, you guys? So one is here, and then hang on, where was the other one? It was
It's south of Portland and
Salem.
Salem.
Yep.
It's south of it. Just scroll down.
Well, this is it.
Yeah, that's Washougal.
And
And Salem is south.
Yep.
Right there.
Yep. So boom, boom. Right there. So whoever it is, I think lives here or Salem. Or could it be Eugene and they keep going further? And then boom.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty
they're
far
in
away.
Eugene, Salem, Portland, Moscow. Huh. It is far away.
Regina, so from the memorandum that the defense put out, we know that the girls had their necks cut.
Yeah. You lived in Eugene for a year? I think I had family who lived there.
That's a good point, Lisa. If he was nude and doesn't have a tattoo or a birthmark, then that could be exculpatory.
We appreciate that, Amanda. Hey, what was it you, Amanda? So I was telling Malia, which I have a surprise. So our intro video, I'm working on it. So every single one of our cut up videos, it will be, you know, introducing ourselves or whatever. So a few people have asked for it. Was it you who said that we're like the white stripes of true crime? Because that's kind of an awesome description. I was like, yes.
Joey, no, that is not the Salem that you're thinking about with the witches. The Salem you're thinking about is on the East Coast.
Eugene looks so beautiful.
Yeah.
Ethan's from Washington. Yeah, I think that if this could potentially be real here, if there's something to this, I think the only way would have to be some sort of stalking. I don't know if it's stalking the person as much as it's stalking the home so that you could understand and figure out the inner workings of the house, which doors are locked, if they're locked at night. Is this person taking part in, what's that called again, where you watch them sleep? What's it called?
It's called somnophilia.
Somnophilia. Is this person taking part in somnophilia where they're going in their house in the middle of the night and watching them sleep? Could it have escalated from that to this?
I mean, a lot of them escalate to that, though.
Yeah, they do.
Peeping Toms, people who watch people sleep, just breaking in. A lot of serial killers get comfortable that way, having, doing that stuff before they actually start killing people. That's more like
This is Wikipedia, but still, this is so somnophilia is a Paraphilia, in which an individual becomes aroused by someone who is unconscious or sleeping. Sleeping is the main.
Oh, nice, Ian. Let us know if you find anything. He found a cold case database. He's looking for more stabbings in that area.
Ooh, you should share that cold case database. Do you still want me to send you a copy of this picture?
To Ian?
Yeah, he asked for it. But yeah, it would be very interesting to do a deep dive into cases that are related across the country, because it's very common for serial enders to travel across the country so they don't get caught. We've seen it time and time and time again. So they don't get caught.
Amanda said, yeah, she thinks she's the one that said White Stripes and Mulder and Scully.
Yes, both of those are so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The intro video is going to be White Stripes Inspired. That's right. Inspired. Yes, I will send you this chart. I think it's super telling too that that the weapon is matching. I don't think that's a common weapon.
What? The K-bar?
A long, sharp-edged weapon.
Oh, okay.
I do not think that it's a common weapon. I think it's less common than more common.
Yeah.
Because it's not convenient. I see that a lot of times we get a long, sharp-edged weapon similar to the Julie Ray case, where Julie Ray, here we go, where it'll be an at-home knife. So they'll grab a kitchen knife and use that. But with these three cases, to me, it feels like it's like slasher, like they got their stuff down. They thought of it. They intentionally grabbed a knife that is made for situations like this, where they had a hand guard on it, so they're not going to get knife slippage and leave direct DNA of their own at the scene. And it appears really thought out. Which is not as common as most people think.
Yeah, Lisa, we've been talking about the cold cases that are being connected to BTK now. And thank you, Gio. I'll look into JLR's video. I watch him here or there. I enjoy when he goes out into like the field and looks at stuff. I don't know why. I find his videos so funny though. Like I laugh a lot when he's out and like all into it, investigating.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Thank you, Kate Sherwood. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. It helps it get out to more people. It helps.
Lady Bird
helps with the algorithm. Amanda, I said the same exact thing. I told Brendan, I said, you should put that as like a quote, like a movie review. That's a really good idea. And take more like other people's little things, like describing us, viewers.
I want to.
Descriptions
on the
of
intro
us.
video.
On the intro video. So if you guys want to leave like a review like that, like a review quote you would want to be included, you should totally leave it in comments somewhere, or email it, whatever
your description of us,
of the channel. Yep.
I really like the live streams though, and being able to talk with people. That's my favorite part, because that gets my brain working the best, is hearing other theories. I love being told I'm wrong. I don't know if that's just weird. Is that weird that I like being told I'm wrong? Because it gets my brain going.
Sarah Miller, I see it happening in the reflection in the car in Linda Lane video. I'm not here to cause problems. Call me crazy, but how do you expect me not to say something after what I saw? What do you saw what happened?
Where?
Like you saw the killings? Because they were inside the house. I'm confused what you're saying. Yes. I said Sarah Miller.
Oh.
I'm just curious what you're saying you saw in the reflection.
Yeah, and we won't call anyone crazy ever.
No.
No way.
Oh, you don't think they were inside the house. Okay.
No.
We want the song, Amanda. We would love to have that song play in the intro. Brennan was talking about trying to reach out to them.
Yep.
That would be super cool. Maybe they could at least just let you take the audio, like just the beat,
yep,
and not the words.
The instrumental.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think the White Stripes got taken over by a label and everything, so. But I'll still try. I'll talk to anyone. Yeah, we've heard quite a few theories, Sarah, around them not being in the house. My only concern with that is bodies are so heavy. So heavy. So heavy. So it couldn't be one person. It would have to be multiple people. And the only way you could transfer a person is if there were no open wounds or bleeding. Otherwise, you'd have DNA everywhere.
So Michigan Girl said, my cousin lived in Pullman, went to Moscow at least 3 to 4 times a week. BK's 12 visits to Moscow in 6 months is not stalking behavior. I have felt that way this whole time. And
all they can see is that he went to Moscow.
That's all they can see is that he went to downtown Moscow. The home is very close to the downtown and the university area where you would go shopping or go out to eat or do any of that. They were really close to all of it. It's a tiny town.
I do, Lisa. I do. Not in a weird serial ender way. I've rode dirt bikes where I had a friend who crashed and I had to carry him for like a quarter of a mile. I've had people that I've had to save before. But yeah, I have definitely carried my fair share of lifeless bodies. That sounds so bad.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, but they were all alive.
Yeah, none of them were actually dead.
No, no. And they all recovered, became healthy people again.
Yeah, Gio, I got that the Dana Smithers case was the one that BK's parents were subpoenaed for. We just read the article. I'll go check out that video, but it sounds like he wasn't involved in it. And that's proof, though, that they were looking into Kohberger's past to see if he had a history of hurting people or doing anything. And they couldn't find anything.
Nothing. That's why. Okay, so
that's a big deal.
The working backwards has been that's been our go-to the whole time. And that's what I mean when, so we love all theories, literally all of them. Go as down the rabbit hole as you can go, and we want to hear them. We want to talk about them. We want to look at them. We want to check out everything. Go as mainstream as you can. But more than likely, it usually lands somewhere in between those two theories, and that's how it normally does in those situations.
I just wanted to say, if you guys have any evidence about your theories or anything like that, that you do want to send to us, like Sarah, you were saying, you can always send it to our email and we will check it. We'll read it. We'll look at it.
Yep. Absolutely.
We have an open mind.
We do.
I do believe it was inside the house. I do think that.
Yeah, there's too many people and images from inside of the house. They also took 4,000 pictures. 4,000 pictures. That is a lot of photos, you guys. A lot of photos.
Hey, Violet Casanova, thanks. She said, have you realized that a lot of content creators following this case and watchers as well have ADHD?
Do they? That's funny. Yeah.
Probably because the obsession.
It probably is the obsession. People with ADHD can have a leg up on things because of the obsession qualities that come with it. You just got to learn how to control it, you know?
Yeah, Amanda, it's a very small town.
Yeah. So I keep sitting here trying to figure out a way to disprove this. There's just too many things that make me feel like it's the same person. Yeah, we just recently did a purge on our content. So within the last like week and a half, we took down all the old content that wasn't crime related. So like you'll see that our long forum podcasts, these ones here.
Oh, did you talk about the 4,000 pictures they took? Did you mention that? Just now?
Yeah. Yep.
And only 130 pieces of evidence.
Yeah.
That is strange. That is strange.
These here.
I want to know what the average amount of a knife crime, how much evidence they take normally of like, well, really any murder scene. How much evidence is typically taken, especially when there's multiple floors and people ended.
I can almost guarantee you that 113 pieces of physical evidence.
Oh, it's 113?
113 pieces of physical evidence is minimal. Very, very, very minimal. And here, I'll see if I can pull it up real quick. Hang on. Average physical evidence at a murder scene.
Ian, no way. Okay, so Ian said, I've gone through 3 different sites for several states, and it's surprisingly difficult to find unsolved stabbings. This makes the similarities between these cases even more striking.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Good call out. That's an awesome call out. It's super rare that you have a stabbing case unless they're trained to not have direct DNA and slippage, knife slippage.
Oh, Sarah, I put it in the chat, but I will put our email in the chat again.
Here, I can just, oh, it's okay.
I'm putting it in the chat.
Okay, I'll highlight it.
The entire town has Twin Peaks vibes.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah. The unsolved murders are overwhelmingly shootings. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, that totally makes sense. Was the lad woman a gambler? Not that we know of.
Yeah, I'm curious why about the gambling?
It was the last one on the plane, which welcome to the chat. I haven't seen you on here before, but thanks for being here. Welcome. Interesting question.
Yeah. So she has like 10 other family members. 6 of them were grandkids. 4 of them were children. 1 girl, 3 boys, and oh wow, women are more prone. I know. I thought that, Amanda. I just wasn't gonna say it. That's hilarious.
What was 113 again?
The total evidence gathered.
Oh.
Yep.
Weird.
But what was I saying? Oh, women are more prone to stabbing. Yeah, that's super interesting. That is super interesting.
Lisa, we're comparing it to this chart right here. We have the ending of Sandra Ladd, which was a stabbing on what did you say, June?
And
it
thank
was
you,
June
Cynthia.
June 13th, 2020. Travis and Jamie Lynn's stabbing, which Jamie Lynn did survive. Travis passed away. What month was that?
That was August 13th.
The next year, 2021. Then the 2022 case of the Idaho 4 on November 13th. They're all on the 13th. They're all early morning hours, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
Correct.
They're all with a long, sharp-edged weapon and with a masked intruder. Except for we don't know with Sandra Ladd because there were no witnesses. Now, in the Juten case and the Idaho 4 case, there was a pet left behind unharmed and a surviving witness in both, which is also more similarities.
Here, I can post this on our channel. Hang on here. I'll post it real quick.
Oh, it looks like Brendan's going to post the chart in a community post on the channel so that you guys can go look at it and refer to it. And just so you know, with the community post, I find it so weird that they like zoom it in. You have to tap it to get the full image. I also don't like that they don't let you pull it up in like a separate window so you can look at the full thing. I wish they would. But yeah, this is the live after the premiere of that video. So we premiered the video about the Northeast Slasher, which is what we've dubbed it. You know, the theory of this possibly being a serial ender in the Northwest. Did I say Northeast just a minute ago? Northwest.
I don't know. I said Northeast twice in the video.
You did? That's why I
Yes.
must be getting it confused.
Yes, Lisa. Hang on. Okay, I just posted it. And look, if you look on the screen, on our screen, under True Crime Talk Show.
It's the picture of us
to the right
with our logo and everything. We go live Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 to 11 p.m. Central Standard Time in America. And it's always posted on that little picture of us with like the brick and the neon lights and everything on the screen.
Yes. Okay. So it is posted. Oh.
Yeah. I don't know why he's showing that again. He already showed that in his last live stream. I actually watched it.
Yeah. Yes. Live Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 to 11 p.m. A lot of times we end up going later though.
We do.
But
like
yes.
every night, pretty much. We go way later.
I know. It's because we enjoy talking to you guys so much and figuring stuff out, man. You know, I think we first figured this out, made connections here on a live stream, talking with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
We started making some connections here. But, you know, what's interesting, too, with the Sandra Ladd and Juten case is that we have confirmation that Kohberger was not present for that.
Nope. He was in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That's interesting, Ian. Here.
What?
From 2010 to 2021, the Murder Accountability Project only lists 16 unsolved burglary, stabbing, homicides.
Which increases the likelihood of these being connected.
It does. It does.
Yep. I wonder how many of those unsolved are connected to reduce the amount of suspects even further. That would decrease the suspect pool quite a bit if the average person on there is committing 2 of those, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, 2010 to 2021. Whew. That's wild. Yes, we do too. We just wanted to stay super positive in here and accept everyone. We know that some channels, and I don't want to call anyone out specifically, but some channels aren't as easy to bring up opposing theories and ideas, and we don't want that. I don't want us to be an echo chamber where like we have one idea and everyone that's here must follow our idea or you're not welcome here. Like, no. Question me, pitch other ideas, other theories. Let us know of no matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. I'll be willing to talk about it and listen to it.
Hey, Cynthia.
Yeah.
I was wondering where you were. I was waiting for you. So the Northwest slasher is what we've dubbed the theorized killer. That it may be, you know, the suspect for the Idaho 4, Sandra Ladd, and Travis and Jamie Lynn Jewton, which all have really strange similarities. They're all done on 13th of the month. You know, Sandra was the first in 2020. The Jewtons were 2021, and the Idaho 4 is 2022, which suggests like possibly a cooldown rate for a serial killer. And they're all with the same type of weapon. None of the weapons were found in any of the cases, done around the same time in the early morning hours. There's just a lot of weird similarities. Really strange.
I forgot to put dubbed.
You know what? Who did I hear that said they went for a run with Bryan Kohberger, like super early, super late, super early morning hours, and it was a multi-mile run, like 5 or 7 miles or something insane like that. Who was that?
So
that gives weight to me that he could be out driving around at that time, because who goes for a run at that time?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I remember that interview. What was that?
It wasn't nefarious. He was with a friend.
Yeah, Ian, I probably could have expressed how rare it was. When I was looking up knife crimes, it was really rare. And then when I was looking into some of the details of those knife crimes, a lot of the knife crimes that you get are like pocket knife. So they get thrown into this other group of crimes that are spur of the moment type crimes using knives that people have on their person already. When we're looking at this here, this is not a pocket knife crime. This is a well thought out pre-planned crime with a blade chosen specifically to cause the most damage possible.
Thank you, J. Ray.
It's super uncommon.
I knew it would be you to let me know, J. Ray.
Yeah, and for everyone joining too, we appreciate it if you hit that like button if you're having a good time. We do have our memberships open if you're interested. Do not feel obligated that you need to become a member. We treat everyone the same. There's just some additional benefits like early watch time, early watch content, some additional content, things like that. But they are open and available now. They hadn't been before if you've been here before, but welcome everybody.
BK's, I'm his dominant. Thank you, Miss Kelly, for that information. That is, yes, that it makes sense to me. What? Which one?
I am his dominant.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Good night, Lori.
Yeah, good night.
Go get some rest. The only wrong questions are the ones not asked. There you go, Gio. I like that saying.
Yes.
And wait, a roommate's friend.
Who are we talking about? I'm seeing a couple different comments about the roommate. It was a late night jog.
The late night jog.
Oh,
They're
okay.
letting us
I thought
know
it was
who
early
was.
morning.
It is late night, early morning.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, and they were saying he's an insomniac. Like, that's proof that he was going for these runs, and it wasn't rare for him to go for these runs with that neighbor.
Got it. Yep.
So that gives weight to him going out and driving around at night and that not being weird.
Yeah. Yep. No, I got you. I got you now.
J Ray said it was Shyler or something like that.
Skylar?
That looks like Shyler.
Okay. Well, I think it could go either way, but yeah, no, I agree with you. And actually that's really interesting, Cynthia, with BK being an all or nothing personality. Yeah. I mean, he is an addict, okay? And addicts tend to be that all or nothing type personality or people, whether that's caused by addiction or it's an inherent behavioral trait that they have pre-addiction, which makes them more likely to become an addict. I don't know, but that's a great call out. I agree with you. I thought what we were, Skylar.
Oh, it's Skylar? Okay.
I'm never right. I'll take that one to the bank.
Wow. Is it spelled the way you spelled it though, J Ray? You just pronounce it Skylar? Interesting.
I know. I'm so obsessive, man.
Michelle Mack, welcome from Ireland.
I agree with you. I think all the firsthand statements and accounts of Bryan Kohberger do not relate with the theory that's out there of the type of person he is, the, INCEL. However, that just goes back to, look, I hope he's the guy. I really do, because if he's not, the real one's out there. But based on the evidence that we're seeing right now, I am not confident that he's the guy.
What would you know about all or nothing tendencies?
I know, that's what I was saying.
And Amanda, good point. If somebody he used with only had nice things to say about him, that's important. I did hear a friend that was like a girl or something say that he used her for like rides to go get H, but come on, dude, like that's like the least harmful thing an addict could do is use you for a ride. Like they could do many worse things to you than that.
Yeah.
Like rob you.
Yeah. Rob you. Yes.
But that's awesome that you catch all of our lives, Michelle Mack, even if you got to watch them on rerun. I think there's a lot of people that do that with our lives.
Yeah, I think a lot of people watch them on rerun.
Which is fine.
Absolutely.
It's great.
Absolutely. The only thing is I wish...
I'm glad you're here now, though.
For... a couple people have reached out that live on the East Coast that really want us to do lives in the middle of the day, and we're working to that point.
Yeah,
you guys.
We just can't. We can't until we can go full time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yes. We have normal, boring jobs. I'm a salesperson, B2B salesperson, traveling salesperson. And, once we get to a point where we can make the switch without having a change of lifestyle, then we will be there and we will do them midday.
Yes, Ian, it is like the mainstream media paints him as the guy from You. And that guy is like, I feel like they did such a good job with that show, highlighting what it's like in the mind of like a stalker. And
hey G,
I don't know. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. And I agree with you. I think he strikes me more as like an uptight, nerdy guy. And hi, G. It trips me out how the date of birth is almost the address.
Yes. I hear you. I didn't want to dive too far into the numerology, although I did want to touch on it a little bit because I do think it's important when we're seeing these things that it's on the 13th. So we have June 13th for the first one, August 13th for the second one, 11/13 at 3 o'clock for all of them. We also have a the address being potentially 3, related to 3 birthdays. Like, a lot of these things relate to numerology aspects, and like why it's important to highlight that stuff is, even if it comes off tin hat, if it's important to the criminal, then it should be important to anybody and everybody.
You know that comment had nothing to do with numerology, right? It had to do with our viewer count.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about it?
Okay, I just didn't know if you were referencing that because
No.
you told me to click on it.
No, I know
I was
that
like,
those
wait,
were
what
likes.
are you talking about? Not likes, it's viewer count.
No, yeah, but 53 likes to 149 viewer count.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I got you. You even understood it more than
Yeah.
I did. Okay, I got you.
I knew what you were saying. That's okay, Miss Kelly.
It's 5:40 a.m. there. Dang.
Jeez.
You're still up.
Committed. We
You are.
appreciate you.
Yeah, but I hope you have time to actually get some sleep. And good night, Miss Kelly. I mean, technically the live's supposed to end at 11. We just stay over for fun. So.
Yep. So Portland, Moscow is just on here.
Yeah, when is BK's birthday? I honestly don't even know if I've ever looked that up.
Eugene, okay. And
it's
then
November 21st, 1994, 11/21. So it is super close. Yeah, 11/21, 11/22.
Yes, I know.
That is strange, J-Ray. Wow.
It is.
He's younger than me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I still feel like weird when like people are younger than me.
Why?
I still feel like I should be younger. I don't know.
I mean, I'm young. I'm just 29.
I'm 29. About to not be anymore, though. Yeah, super weird, J-Ray.
I wonder if we could find out in the general area how many people were going to ISU. Gosh, that's such a hard thing to look into, though, because they have so many colleges there. Don't they have 3 colleges in this area?
In the Moscow Pullman area?
Yeah, within 1 hour.
Within an hour.
I think so. Look up how many colleges are within 1 hour of Moscow.
Just search up college or university.
I mean,
and it'll pop up all of them in that area. Just college. So there's some community colleges. That's why I would look up maybe university.
Yeah.
If you're looking for big University of Idaho popped up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, type in university. You probably need to zoom out. I don't know that you're...
Yeah, so where is...
I think Brennan was just looking to see like all the universities in the area, but why were you looking for that?
Because so our theory about this guy potentially, if this is one person, right, then is it possible for this person to be under 18 when committing Sandra Ladd and the Jutons? Then that person graduated from high school and moved on to college and is going to a local college where they had access to the Idaho 4. Because if they're from these areas here or nearby to Washougal, Washington, and Salem, Oregon, then Moscow would be a long way to drive to commit stalking, to commit reconnaissance, to find out, what doors are unlocked in the house, how frequently they're home by 2 a.m. Like all these details to commit the mass ending, So what schools could cause that person, if this is one person, to be in that general area?
Yeah.
I just keep sitting here trying to think of ways to disprove this. The weapon is a big deal.
The weapon is a big deal. And the fact that it wasn't found at any of the crime scenes and it's all described the same way
I know.
in every case. That's what, more than anything, besides the date and time of day that these were done. I know that top category,
hitters.
Date, time, and weapon are huge. They're huge.
They're massive. And this is even more interesting. You know what I should pull up is here. Hang on. Let me pull up the Fry talking about this.
Brendan's a Virgo. Yeah, I believe that would be Sun, but I don't understand all of it. Based off the wounds, Lisa, they can describe what they think created it. Not the exact knife, but the general shape of it based on the wounds to the people. Like with the Idaho 4 case, they knew it was going to be a long bladed weapon. And then the knife sheath, the fact that they found DNA and everything on it. That's how they came up with K-bar, but
Whoa.
What? There have been numerous questions about leadership in this investigation. Let me be clear. This is the Moscow Police Department's investigation, and I am the chief of police, Fry said in a statement. The decisions are mine and mine alone. I have an excellent command staff with over 90 years of combined experience overseeing the investigation's daily operation, and I select who runs the investigative teams. He continued, we are supported by highly trained and experienced personnel from the Idaho State Police and the FBI. Their continued resources and knowledge are vital to our success. Our investigative units work under a unified structure and have the autonomy to move forward and solve this case. Despite statements about my team, we remain focused on solving the murder of 4 students to seek justice for them, their families, and to help our community heal.
Interesting.
Why did he make that statement? That's like a very commanding statement.
Yeah. Oh, the car was found in Oregon. Oh. It was found in Oregon.
How have we not connected that? In Portland, right?
Yes, I think. Let me.
Oh my God.
Dude.
How have we not been talking about that this whole time?
I have no idea.
The car in Oregon's a huge deal. What?
Yes, it is a massive deal.
Eugene. Okay, Eugene. You were just talking about that. If
literally
they
pointed
traveled
out
up and
Eugene.
went further away.
Yeah, I literally pointed out Eugene.
Oh my gosh. You guys, that's a huge deal.
Yep, here. Where is it? Okay. So when I was looking at this map, I just thought that you don't crap where you eat, right? And so the next closest, so this essentially went, if they lived in Eugene, oh, dude, we need to do some research into Eugene and see if there's any crimes that could show like animals abused or dying or murdered.
Wait, Joey,
or
Maddie was born in Eugene.
Salem.
Yes, I did. I
Portland.
did know this, J. Ray, but we did talk about this. We didn't connect it, and also, I mean, I forget things like that, little details like that. I forget, but okay.
And this is so. I've questioned this from the beginning. Why is
'Cause
this
it's
car
weird.
taken apart?
It's weird.
Why is this car taking apart?
Okay, so
taken apart?
if you don't know, this car has been circulating on the internet for a while now, where people were questioning it because this car is just abandoned on the side of the road, wrecked. And it's a 2015 or 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. Like, it was being speculated. Wait, what's the year of the car, Brendan? Like, for real, what's the year?
2013.
It's a 2013.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It fit in that range that police were looking for. And it was being speculated on when the police released that information. No license plates. The police were asking, for information. This car was found all beat up and wrecked in Eugene, Oregon. And it started being posted on news websites, and the police said it wasn't connected, but people online, creators and stuff, have still looked at it and been like, it's weird.
Yeah.
And we thought it was really weird the whole time. And then we started looking into this Northeast Slasher stuff, and now, like, what?
Yeah, and this
fits
window
with that.
tint fits. It 100% fits the pictures that we saw driving by in the morning and everything else, and then it fits potentially here too. Could this person live in Eugene, start with someone in Salem, not want to have a repeat case here, so they go to the Portland area just outside, and then they go further?
It does fit better than BK's. Nobody has figured out whether it's been connected to the Moscow murders or not. We don't know. But
we were told that it wasn't. In
Yeah.
the same way that these crimes were told they aren't too.
Because Chief Fry said he looked into the Sandra Ladd and Juten cases and said that they weren't connected to the Idaho 4.
Yep.
Same with the car. They looked into it and said it wasn't connected.
Yep. And it feels like we got the same kind of response on this vehicle too. I need to save this
yes,
picture.
Ian, thank you for that and for posting that. It was registered in Oregon.
Yeah, we have the registration. Hang on.
Oh yeah, it was Steve that sent us that, right?
I think so.
Yeah, he sent it to us from T-Rev, right? T-Rev has somebody who got the VIN number and sent us the VIN number.
Yeah, so we have the VIN number.
Now what isn't okay? That's really weird too. So aren't the houses, the people who own the Idaho 4 house, aren't they from Colorado or something like that? What other connection was there to Colorado?
I'm not sure.
I heard it going around. That's their response to everything that they say isn't connected, Kate, is that they looked into it and it's not connected. And yes, Amanda, there's a boom. If only Crime Circus, if only Drip Drop was in the chat.
Right.
This definitely fits way better than BK's with the window tint, and it's the correct year for what they said they were originally looking for. And what do you mean, Cynthia? It's the fake Elantra. Are you saying it's not a... Oh, okay. It's not the Elantra they got or whatever. Okay. I think I know what you're saying.
Yes.
What else was registered in Colorado, though, you guys? Owners of the house. So they are from Colorado. Joey, do you guys know about the Streak from Reddit who has a Substack and a YouTube channel who's done a lot of work on this case? I found one Substack that was super good. I don't know if that's who you're talking about, though. So is their name Streak? Like, if I look up Streak, will I find their YouTube channel? Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Gosh. Yeah. Every once in a while, I still try and figure out and think what the whole threatening situation in person was about. No one's ever reached back out to me.
They're not going to at this point, I don't think.
They should. I want to talk.
Well, Kate, if you like Ian's frog, you should look at the emoji I just posted. Because I turned it into an emoji that makes him the prisoner of the chat.
Post it.
I did.
Oh.
Yes, they are in Colorado, the previous owners of the house. Thank you, you guys. Interesting. And those are the same ones that people were saying are connected to, like, CP. And are predators.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if there's any connection there at all.
I don't know.
Like, are these their hunting grounds? Like, they live in Oregon, and they know people in this area, and they own property in this area, and they come, like, visit this guy or whoever it is, comes and visits every year and gets an itch he needs to scratch. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, man. Oh, we got a new member.
Yay!
Woo!
Yes, welcome, Kate.
We need like a soundbite of celebration to
We
play or something.
We do. Sorry, I dropped.
I don't think they took this car apart whatsoever, you guys. I don't think that much investigation went into it. I really don't.
No.
Cynthia said, I'm serious about the compartmentalization of people and them doing one thing that they don't realize how it fits into the full story. I mean, yeah, I do think that is how it works a lot.
Yeah.
Who put Kaylee's black coat into the bushes? Wait, her coat was found in the bushes? I didn't know about that. Did you?
No, where was that?
You have a reference for that, Lisa? And thank you so much, Kate, for becoming a new member.
Yeah.
You got the lightning bolt now.
Yeah.
And access to the emojis.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be adding new emojis tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Because I had to get all the thumbs done this weekend for the new podcast and the clips and all of that. But I should be able to. I have several written down. Which ones were they? Brendan's face with a tin hat on it. A honker spaniel for J Ray's dog. The ADHD with the lightning bolt, a red flag emoji.
Yes.
And I thought about getting one that just says Riot on it. Like that could be, you know how Drip Drop says boom? Ours could be Riot or something like that. I don't know. I thought it might be a cool emoji. Or when you have a really good thought. Like right there when we figured out the car was in there, it could have been that.
I know.
Oh, by the fire hydrant? Oh, so a black coat was found next to the fire hydrant. Why did you think the Northwest Slasher got us for a minute, Ian?
Because we dropped.
We did?
Yeah, just it like reset the screen for some reason.
Okay, so she had the coat on at the corner bar with Jack, and then it was found next to the fire hydrant? Oh, the frog reminded you. Ian, you better never change your profile picture.
I know.
We'll have some serious issues, man. Okay, are you talking about the big jacket Maddie was wearing? So that was actually Kaylee's coat? We're the only membership Kate has on YouTube.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is an honor.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it is an honor. We appreciate that.
The coat she was wearing that night appeared borrowed. A man's was found near the band field, Mike Engler said. You guys, I had no idea. And yes, Cynthia, I'm way less sick. Still a little bit, like just a little bit, but I'm mostly good now, like pretty much good. I have like a lingering migraine going on. I freaking hate migraines, you guys. I hate them so much. They picked it up and put it back and walked away, Kate? Are you kidding me? She said they picked up the coat, put it back, and walked away.
I haven't seen that. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That's strange.
It's Maddie's coat, not Kaylee's, on Taylor Road. Even J Ray's confirming it.
Really? I need to
There's
see it. Where is this? Okay, there.
Violet Casanova said there's a video of the coat found. In the video where the boys were stopped. It predates YouTube.
So police in Eugene.
Oh, your profile picture predates YouTube, Ian? That's funny.
Yeah, so going back to the car, I just had a couple questions. If I was the defense, I would single this out if I was Ann Taylor and be like, hey, can you explain to me how you ruled out that car in Oregon?
Yeah.
You know what else is interesting, you guys? So I first saw this interview on Sleuthy Goosey's platform, and it's with locals. And J Ray, I think you know what I'm talking about here, because we had talked about it a little bit, and I think you knew where the house was in town, but there was an interview with a media person or an investigative reporter or something like that, and they were interviewing this family where the girl said she had gotten arrested, tried to end herself, and she wrecked her white Hyundai Elantra. Could this be that?
I have tried Excedrin. It gets to the point when you have migraines consistently, you become like, you basically have a tolerance to things like ibuprofen and Tylenol and stuff. I do take them. Like a doctor told me, get on top of the pain. Like as soon as you even think it's coming, take pain medication, a decent dose. So I usually take like 600 milligrams of ibuprofen and Tylenol together when I feel it coming on. But if that doesn't take care of it, then I have Maxalt that I take. It's the only migraine medication I can take without feeling like I'm dying.
Where is, I want to see the side picture for that one red stuff on the side.
Mio Sport. Oh, electrolytes. Okay, yeah. I should try that, drinking electrolytes. I actually don't think I've done that. I drink water when I get them, but I don't typically drink electrolytes, which is a good idea. Thank you, Cynthia.
Look, what do we think that is? We've brought this up before.
Yeah, I think it's menstrual related sometimes. Not always, though.
You think this on the door is menstrual related?
Yeah, somebody had a gnarly period back there. Changed their tampon in the car.
Oh.
Yeah, that's been your thing since the beginning with this car, is that stain there. I still think it's possible that, like, gunk, like while they were driving, traveled up through this crack at the bottom of the doors.
You think?
Water and dirt collected in there, and maybe it was raining or something, and it got wet, and it went like the air blew it up through the cracks. Because that's a place where Mike Engler said, ew.
Yeah.
Sorry to get on period talk. I mean, but come on, we're talking about like a very bloody crime scene. You can handle a period, man.
Yeah, Lisa, they aren't tinted at all. So Kohberger's car has 0 tint on it. Nothing.
Yeah, my PMS is gnarly. I'll just say that.
But
I mean, these are super tinted, which is what makes me think that this is definitely more of a possibility, and it fits with the time, with the time frame of the make and model of the car.
Yeah,
like the year of the car.
This does fit the make and model.
It fits everything.
It fits everything. The tint fits, the make and model fits. I'm curious what this is right here. Could a door have been open and it pulled across someone's body? You know what I mean? If you're going to get in a door really quick, can you grab it and go to slide in, and that door like rubs against the front of someone's shirt or pants that had something on it? I don't know.
I wonder what happened to this car. Amanda, it's Maxalt. I can type it in the chat because I've tried other ones, like an ER. They shot me up with, what is that one called? It's something else, and I literally thought I was dying.
Yeah, it definitely would have a computer on it, Mike, but it's how precise of a computer that is. So some of these cars in the like 2010s will have a computer on it that only turns on when an accident happens, when it feels like a really rough jolt or a dead stop or a huge bump or something like that. So it wouldn't have just like checked GPS at all times.
Did they run into that pole?
I don't know.
Because it's right in front of a pole and the bumper is off right there.
I hear you. I don't get it.
It kind of looks like it crashed right there. Where's the picture of it where you can see the Panda Express? Right there.
It doesn't look like it hit anything. Look.
I mean, it clearly hit something.
I get it, but what?
Go back. Where's the Panda Express
right
picture?
there?
No, there was a better one than that.
Hang on.
Right there.
I don't see any
right in front
poles.
of a pole. That's a big pole, though.
Yeah, but it's not hitting it. It's not touching it.
Could they have backed it up?
I don't know. But you would probably see some kind of paint or something, and you don't.
Where's the front view of the car again? Share the tab you're on. Don't forget. Where?
Right here.
Yeah, there's not a good picture of the pole, though.
No, and that doesn't look like it hit a pole to me. Maybe. I don't know. But I feel like this would be smashed back further.
In the middle?
To me, this kind of looks like they rear-ended a truck. A car that sat higher than them, and the front of the car went underneath the back of a car.
I mean, it doesn't look like it got wrapped around a pole. Like normally it would be a really hard indention
It
in the
doesn't
middle.
look like that. It doesn't. I agree. It doesn't.
No, I have not tried dexaprofen. I don't even know what that is, Violet. I'm gonna write it down though so I can look into it because I've never heard of it. Thank you though.
And then going back to this picture still trips me out, man. Because everything is taken out. Don't get it. Why did they take off the sun shield?
I've had IV Reglan before.
It makes me feel like a wipe down was going on.
A wipe down? Why?
Why did they take these off?
What?
The sun shields, the sun visors.
Oh. I couldn't tell what it was. I couldn't tell what it was. Can you zoom in on that picture? Is it possible? Is there a zoom?
No.
Oh, good. The car looks pretty clean, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. What is that?
I don't know.
Is that the seat belt?
Oh, gosh.
Tucked?
Is it the seatbelt?
I don't know.
Because it's not buckled into the buckle.
No, it's not.
Dude, wouldn't it be crazy if somebody went and looked for this car and they like went looking in it themselves and ended up finding like the murder weapon in the freaking glove box or something?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, this serial killer, if what we're alleging, if what we're speculating is true, they probably have the knife with them because they reuse it. It's their weapon of choice. They take it to every murder.
Yeah. Yeah.
For some reason. No, Maxalt is not over the counter. It's prescription only, which is a huge pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But it works really well for me. I guess they don't have junkyards out there, right? Why is it just parked on the side of the street? It's just really odd. Like, when you wreck your car, you typically don't abandon it. Like, you just lost money doing that.
For what?
Abandoning your car?
Yeah. Yes.
Like, you just lost a ton of money doing that.
Yes, absolutely.
That car didn't look totaled.
No.
So why abandon it?
I have no idea. They didn't say anything about it being stolen. They didn't say anything. All they said was that it's not connected to these crimes.
The Dakotas in Montana? I don't know anything about the law enforcement up there, Cynthia. We have somebody we know that lives up in Montana, though.
Yeah. Kind of a big deal up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. I think that is it for tonight.
That was pretty crazy, though, realizing that car was found in Eugene, Oregon. Wow. Gosh, I wish we knew that so we could have put that in the video. I mean, we did know it. It wasn't coming to our minds, like it wasn't. We just didn't connect it until this moment.
Different topics. So,
yeah.
Even though it does seem related, it does feel related. So could they have stolen a car and drove to the Idaho area to meet somebody and then drove back and dropped it and got in another car?
Oh, yeah, Lisa. And, yeah, Regina, they both said stolen. Like, could it be a stolen car then? Maybe. That's very possible
Yeah.
and would make sense why they would abandon it.
Yeah, and when we did research on this car, when we pulled up the VIN number, it was originally registered out of Texas and then Arizona
And Oregon.
and then Oregon. Yeah. So Texas, Arizona, Oregon.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So,
Lisa, I want to know their reasoning behind saying the car isn't related and these crimes. I'm right there with you.
so Jesselyn Bailey said, "Is that the car that was stolen 2 days before from a car yard?" I don't know. Is it? Is that something that's been
I don't
said about
believe
it?
so, but it could be. It honestly could be. We covered that topic like over a month ago, and I don't remember the exact details of it. I wish I did. I don't remember.
We're gonna have to look back into it more.
We are. Especially now that we just made that connection again with the slasher case. It's just really funny that I was thinking, hey, you're not gonna crap where you sleep, right? So if this crime happened in this city, more than likely they're from another surrounding city. And we literally say Eugene and then realize that's from Eugene. Like, that's a big coincidence.
Can you put a pic of it? You're not showing the picture of the car right
Oh,
now.
I'm sorry. Hang on. I was doing something else on oh, that's not even a good pic. Yeah, that's a good picture.
Share this tab.
Yep. Better picture.
Ian said, unless they maybe stole the car from further east. What I want to know is why drive back to Oregon with that car? If stolen, I imagine they'd want to drop that hot potato ASAP. Unless they wanted to get far away, Ian, and getting it the further away from the crime, the better.
Yeah, so you would want to drive it away, not leave it there, because you don't want connection from where you came from.
Right.
So, like, if you stole a car to get to the crime, then you wouldn't want that car left there because that would be a direct connection. You know what I mean? Literally a direct connection.
Can you share a picture, Jesselyn? You'll have to send it to our email.
Yes.
There. Posted the email in the chat. Cynthia said, I want to also say that if BK is flagrantly guilty, why has this become so convoluted? Like Rex Heuermann is guilty of sin, although not acting alone, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I mean, I think that's a really good point. Oh, Lisa, if you had a full bag of heroin, you may. True. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, I think a lot of people are just seeing the holes.
Yes.
And like, nobody questions if Rex is guilty. Everybody thinks he's guilty because there's no holes in that evidence. It's legitimate. It's very thorough. And of course, Jesselyn, we love putting our email out there and getting emails from you guys.
Have we ever looked into that idea of being able to see the crime happening in the reflection? Have we ever looked at that? No. I didn't think so.
We haven't, which is why I told her to email.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was just curious if you could remember us watching that ever, because I don't at all.
Violet Casanova.
Oh, wow. There was no media coverage of those other 2 slasher crimes.
Wow.
That is wild.
Oh, someone left a comment on the Northeast Slasher video and said they live in Oregon and have never heard of this stuff until we just put out this video. It's really interesting. Yeah, I feel like the gag order has done a huge disservice to the victims, if I'm being honest, and their families. Like, I feel like it has hurt the families more than it has helped the case. Them putting all of this stuff and locking it up with a gag order has caused so much speculation, which I'm a fan of speculation, okay? Obviously, that's the point of all of this. But like, it's caused so much speculation off of scraps. We've been given scraps. And the scraps look terrible.
They do. They do.
And from what the family said, especially in that 48 hours interview and the stuff, you know, the Bryan interview with Steve, I feel like it's pretty apparent they have not gotten much more information than we have, which would be hard as a parent in this situation, knowing little more than the rest of the people in the whole United States and world.
Yeah.
You know less about what your daughter, you know, and, you know, kids, what happened to them.
Yes.
Like, I just don't understand that. Have they even seen like autopsy reports or anything like that? Because the coroner told them about the positioning before the gag order.
I know. I know.
But I'm curious, did they even see an autopsy report?
I don't think so.
Have we done anything on Rosie the cop? I don't think so. Not yet anyway, Kate. But when you guys suggest things, I always write it down so we can look at it. Let's see, what did Mike say?
All right.
So Violet left a comment I wanted you to read, but you're just over here doing things.
Yeah.
Stop for a minute.
Yeah.
This one. I haven't seen that, Violet. That sounds horrific.
Recently. Oh, wow. That is terrifying.
It is.
Jeez. Yeah, it's terrifying. But
what did I wanted to see what
oh, sorry.
Didn't want to go back. KG didn't want to go back for that weekend. There were too many variables. Huh. I thought
Many. Yep.
Kaylee went
I
back
agree.
that weekend to show Maddie her new car, is what we've been told anyway. That she was staying with her family. She got that new SUV and went back to show her friends and hung out with them for the weekend. But I would like to know more about all of that.
Yep.
I don't know if Kaylee moved out and didn't want to come back. She got a new job. I don't know. I mean, she was graduating, so I think she was really just starting her life. I don't know that we don't like, is there any evidence to show she genuinely didn't want to be there and didn't want to come back? Her parents said she was on the fence about going back. Interesting. I really want to rewatch all the parent interviews. Have you watched all of them?
I haven't watched all of them, no.
We'll have to. I'm going to go back and watch them.
All right. I think that is it for tonight. Tonight was a success. Another one. So a really good premiere. I feel like we got some more good information out. It's been awesome having everyone new on here as our live streams grow. We're super stoked to have you all on here. Make sure on your way out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and come hang out with us again next time. We will be back on here tomorrow and again on Wednesday and Thursday, as you can see on the screen on our banner image right there. So we appreciate all of you. Thank you all for your input. You guys are seriously amazing. And
I know. I love Panda Express, Ian.
oh, I'm sorry. Right when we're signing off, I apologize.
Well, hello.
Yeah, hello.
Thanks for
and
joining.
Good morning.
You'll have to watch it back. We just did a premiere of the NorthWest slasher, and we talked about it in this live stream and made some really interesting connections.
Yes, some really interesting ones for sure.
But yeah, Violet, for sure. You can send us that on the email. I'll post it one more time, our email in the chat, if you guys have anything that you would like to send us, questions, want to talk about something. Thanks for you guys all joining and being here, though. I hope you all have a great night or morning if you are not in the U.S.
Yes, absolutely. All right, everybody. Have a good night. See you later.
Have a great night.
Yes, good night.
I care about you more than him.
Okay.
Bye.